is Michael Savoy. Joined alongside me is Michael Goff. And Michael, we are in hands tonight for a really good football matchup between two really fierce Big 12 rivals in Bloomington and Peoria.
Yeah, absolutely right, Michael. And playoff aspirations and on the way here very likely for both teams tonight. So this is going to be an exciting matchup to see how these two teams are looking as we near the end of the regular season and look ahead to the playoffs.
Certainly, as we'll start with Bloomington quarterback Keontae Hamilton for the Purple Raiders. This kid was an all-conference wide receiver last year. They needed a quarterback to replace A.J. Condren last year, senior that graduated, and he's fit the bill pretty well. He's thrown the ball really well, and he's made a pretty good job playing quarterback. Yeah,
he certainly has. He has made the transition very nicely over there. Now one of the team leaders in rushing touchdowns and just has filled that hole absolutely perfectly for Coach Mulcahy and his squad. Certainly a tremendous athlete all the way around, and he's a big part of their success this season.
He threw for 240 yards last week against Peoria Notre Dame. He'll need a big performance like that tonight if they want to beat the Peoria Lions. Speaking of Bloomington, they want to end that losing streak against Peoria High. They have not beaten them since 2018, and they have a 5-game losing streak. So this win, if they were to get it tonight, would be a culture win.
Yeah, it certainly would, and doing it here on their home turf is certainly going to feel really nice. Not only do you break a losing streak against Peoria High, but you do it here at your home field. So this will be a big moment for Bloomington if they're able to come away here with the win, and I'm excited to see how it unfolds.
Switching gears to Peoria High, they have a really good quarterback themselves in senior Breon Green, the second full-time year starting, and Coach Montgomery likes what he sees out of his senior quarterback. He's becoming more of a quarterback than rather just an athlete.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's really what it takes. You know, not just can you have that athletic ability, but you want to be able to have that strong football IQ, know what to do when the moment arises, and he has done that beautifully for Peoria High, and just a tremendous leader out there on the field.
Folks, we have a big matchup tonight between Bloomington and Peoria. Kickoff is coming shortly here on Clutch Sports Media.
In addition to showing respect to the traditions of football while being courteous to
beautiful rendition of the national anthem done by the Bloomington Marching Band. That was fantastic. Now we're ready for some football here. A big marquee matchup in the Big 12 Conference. One big town of a school, one city school. Peoria versus Bloomington. Set the scene here. Two teams that are at 5 wins are looking to get that ticket, or get that for sure ticket into the playoffs. 5 to qualify, 6 and more to for sure get your spot in the playoffs.
Yeah, no doubt about it. A big matchup in store here tonight. Both teams hungry for that playoff action. Should be a pretty good one here.
Both teams are fired up for this one. Bloomington looking to get that one signature win against Peoria they have not had since 2018, and Peoria looking to keep their ship rolling as we look at the Class 5A poll. Both teams are at least receiving votes. Peoria in the top 10 at number 7. That is better than their number 9 spot last week, so they have since improved in the AP poll. Bloomington has only got 1 vote in the AP poll, but that is worse than their 8th ranked last week, so they have since fallen, and that was mostly due to the Peoria Notre Dame loss that they took last Friday. So what do you take away from the AP poll that these two teams can bring?
Well, Michael, I think just as you mentioned there, Peoria trending up, and Bloomington, while they may have taken a step back, this is a big game for them tonight. You're out here on your home field, get the win here, and you'll climb right back up in those polls.
Keontae Hamilton, the Bloomington quarterback, we'll see him first as Bloomington is receiving the opening kickoff. He is someone who was a wide receiver, an all-conference wide receiver for the Purple Raiders last season, but with the graduation of A.J. Condren, Bloomington was struggling to find a quarterback. Now McKay had pretty much off-season tryouts to find his next single caller, and he found one in Keontae Hamilton. He's been playing really well. 14 passing touchdowns, 6 rushing touchdowns, been the full complete package for this Bloomington team. And he will get the ball first, like we had mentioned, with his opening kickoff. Peoria versus Bloomington. One of the marquee games in the Big 12 and one of the marquee games in the area. About already set to get kicked off.
Back to receive for the Raiders, number 2.
Speaking of Hamilton, he is back to receive for the Purple Raiders as well. And Kavion Chestnut back with them to receive for the Purple Raiders. Diego Oriana kicking off for Peoria. We are about ready to get things kicked off here at the Fred Carlson Field in Bloomington. This field has been home to some big Bloomington games as of late. The program has been trending up versus a classic program in Peoria High who continuously wins and continuously sees himself in the top of the Big 12, and no difference this year. Oriana to kick things off, and we are live and ready from the Fred as an onside kick. Oh, no, a pooch kick by Oriana is covered by Chestnut. Here's Chestnut going. Chestnut going past the 50 in the Peoria territory. He's at the 30, and he's finally forced out of bounds, but not before a big gain off the opening kick for the Purple Raiders.
Can't ask for a much better start than that. Chestnut, we talked about him going in. He is a dynamic player out there for Bloomington, and we saw that on display right away, just a few seconds in.
He's got over 700 rushing yards. I mean, that was the opening kickoff. We're talking about his offensive stats. Over 700 rushing yards, and he's pretty much getting to where Rob Lanier was last year for the Purple Raiders. He was a senior last year, an all-worldly running back for the Purple Raiders, and he has since done well for Bloomington as well this year. As the Purple Raiders looking to get their drive set up on the 28. And it won't be without a slight delay from the officials. Here we are. Now we get our first play from scrimmage on our way. It's Hamilton looking deep immediately, and the pass is dropped. That pass was for Jamari Sutton. That pass was incomplete, and they'll bring up second down for this Bloomington offense that off the opening kick has seen itself set up right on the opponent's 28-yard line. It's so big for Bloomington to set the tone early here to get the score, whether it's a touchdown or a field goal. I bet the Purple Raiders would love to have their opening kickoff success be worth some points. Hamilton looking again. A slant route, but just overthrew his man. Once again, that was Sutton. And he just overthrew his man. So Hamilton already 0 for 2 in the passing game, but I mean, it's very early in this game. We're sure to see some completions by the senior.
Yeah, maybe some beginning of the game jitters in there as well. Both teams know a big game here tonight.
Well, we didn't mention it. It is actually Bloomington's senior night, so, I mean, that does add a little bit to it as well. Handoff. Oh, what a hit by Peoria. That was Jordan Noren on the carry. And
recovers his own fumble.
looks like that was Peoria's Judah Robertson with the tackle. There was a fumble, but Norton had recovered it himself. But that's not before Bloomington loses a big chunk of yards.
We have a loss on the play back to the 33-yard line of 6.
That was a loss of 5 for Bloomington. And that sets them up with a long 4th down. I'm sure they're probably going to punt it. But it looks like Hamilton is going to be in the shotgun. So it looks like they're going to be all out. Hamilton takes a snap, goes long, and the pass is just out of the hands. Once again, Sutton was targeted, but he is not able to make the catch. And Bloomington turned it over on downs to Peoria High.
And the Lions take over.
Yeah, some good throws made in there, just unable to find his man.
And Bloomington turns it over on downs to this Peoria offense. This Peoria offense, as we all know in this area and we all know doing these games, they score. And they score in a hurry. They're full of athleticism, and they're all led by senior quarterback Breon Green, who Coach Montgomery, head coach of Peoria High, really likes the fact that he is not just an athletic football player anymore. He's really filled into that quarterback role. As he takes a snap, he looks, pass is complete, and for a big chunk of yards, that was Darion Mays on the right side, or on the far side of the field from where we are, and he gets a 1st down.
Tackle made by number 13,
Speaking about Breon Green, he's a guy that a ton of seniors on this Peoria team. First off, and he's one of the many seniors on this team, and he's one of the leaders on this team as well, as you may expect. The pass is caught. Oh, what a move! Keeps on going. That was Demarion Zapata putting the moves on some Bloomington defenders and picks up a big chunk of yards.
Yeah, that was that shows right there that football IQ. He knew exactly how to kind of wiggle around, keep Bloomington on their toes, picking up every yard you can get.
But that will not be without a flag, as Peoria High is guilty of a flag. So never mind about the big play by Zapata, and the Lions are pushed back. Just can't have those if you want to win these kind of football games. So Green in the shotgun. He'll keep it himself, looks to rush, and not before he's halted by a group of Raiders. Nice play there by the Bloomington defense.
And that is going to be the key to success for Bloomington. Peoria known for putting up lots of points, so if that Bloomington defense is on like they were right there, it's going to be a close one.
That was only a gain of 2. Good job by the Bloomington defense. It's 2nd and 18 after the Peoria High penalty on the play before. So Green looking to pass. You find his man. The ball is caught. Staying in bounds was number 1, Darion Mays. He's made a couple big plays so far early in this game for the Lions, and he gets a pretty good chunk of yardage back. And now it's 3rd and 9.
Up to the 47, a pickup of 9. They'll bring up 3rd down.
So a long 3rd down by the Lions, and it would be big on this Bloomington defense to get a big stop here to halt the ever-dangerous Peoria High offense. A handoff, and really close to the 1st down. That was De'Tryon Pollard. And I believe they'll give it to him, and they will give it to him. It was very close, but he's able to pick up the 1st down. I think they're giving him a half a yard more than the markers, so it is a 1st down for Peoria High. Green receives a snap, hands it off to Pollard again, and Pollard will pick up around 7. Or excuse me, that was Melvin Jenkins, number 9 for the Lions.
Number 9, Melvin Jenkins carries for the Lions. Tackle made by number 7, Cedric Gasway, and 21, Isaiah Martin.
You got to feel like one of these plays for the Lions are going to be probably a really big chunk play coming up. I mean, they probably aren't just going to keep running the ball against this Bloomington defense. It's Pollard in the backfield for the Lions. It'll be Green on the direct snap, and he'll pick up I think he's half a yard short of the first, but that's very close again. And I believe they'll make it 3rd and 1, half a yard. It's another big play in this game for Bloomington and their defense. And likewise for Peoria and its offense. Methodical drive for the Lions. Now they're in Bloomington's side of the field. On the 35, the snap gives it to Pollard, and Pollard will get a big chunk play. He escaped a lot of Bloomington defenders on his way to picking up a first down and then some. And Pollard gets it nearly into the red zone.
Jordan Norton at the Bloomington 21 after a gain of 14.
Gain of 14 for Pollard, and Peoria High is getting ever so closer to the end zone. Green a handoff to Pollard again, and Pollard bulldozing his way, but he only gets a few.
For the Lions up to about the 16. Stop is made by Isaiah Martin for the Raiders.
A lot of Peoria High so far in this opening drive has been their running game. Green again in the shotgun. Gives it the Pollard, but Pollard this time is stood up by this Bloomington defense. In there on the tackle for the Purple Raiders
Pollard on the carry for the Lions
was Anthony Dickerson.
Makes the stop for the Raiders,
or excuse me, Jamari Sun was in there for the Raiders. I was looking at the wrong roster. Anyways, we're in the red zone. Green will take it himself, and we'll get a decent chunk, but the ball is loose. It's a fight for it, but I believe Peoria High recovers it.
Green on the carry.
That could have nearly been disastrous for Peoria High.
Ball was forced loose by Martin, but recovered by the Lions.
Yeah, nearly mishap there. You see it just kind of trickle out of the hands.
First and goal for the Lions at the
Thankfully
Bloomington
for
5.
Peoria High, Jalen Rayford was there to recover the football. So it keeps the Lions drive moving. First and goal for Peoria High, looking to score. It's Green handing it off to Pollard. Pollard powering his way in. He is stopped a little bit short. He gains about half the yardage needed to get into the end zone.
Pollard carries for the Lions.
So Pollard will get the Lions even closer. We've been saying that this opening drive. The Lions running game gets them closer and closer. Can they finally punch it in? Green the Pollard again, but this time he has stood up and halted. He might have gone a yard or two, but it wasn't much. This Bloomington defense stood up again.
Martin comes up with the stop for the Raiders.
And if I'm Peoria High, do I keep going to the running game, trying to get into the end zone? Do I keep trusting Pollard?
Loss on the play of 1.
Let's see what they do here. They'll pull it back this time. Green will find his man. That was Jeremiah Rayford, but he was stopped just short of the goal line. Excuse me, that was Amari Robinson for the Lions. And we are at the 1 yard line. 4th down and goal at the 1. This is where Will wins. Who wants it more? It will be Green taking a direct snap, and he'll punch it in. Breon Green with a 1 yard touchdown run, and the Lions strike first. It is 6-0.
Peoria High had to work for it. They eventually got it through. The Lions strike first.
Big on the Lions to hold Bloomington out of the scoreboard in the Purple Raiders' first drive, and then get the ball in their first drive and score. It's always nice to, be the one to kick off to open the game and then be the first one to score. That's always a good sign. And to no one's surprise, Peoria High, it will be going for 2. We have a stoppage for something. Now we're back. Green in the shotgun again. He'll take the snap. He'll pitch it out. That's Pollard. Can he get the edge? And he will not be able to get the edge. That was a great job by the Bloomington defense. Jamari Sun forces him out of bounds, and good job by the Bloomington defense to halt the bleeding a little bit.
Yeah, it's a big play here early on. Just one score thus far. And certainly don't want the score to get too far up. So a great job there by Bloomington's defense.
This is arguably the mini game within itself. Peoria High on the kickoff. I wouldn't say a lot of teams because it is high school football. In high school football, you do tend to get teams that are without a kicker that can kick it deep. But it's definitely not every team definitely kicks it off the way that Peoria does. Not a lot of teams do onside kicks all the time. This is a game within itself. Bloomington had played Peoria Notre Dame last week, and Peoria Notre Dame does similar things than Peoria High. So Bloomington does know what they need to do really to, counterpart this Peoria kicking game. But that won't stop Diego Oriana kicking it off for Lions and hopefully trying to get an onside kick recovery for Peoria. Here's the kick. And it's easily recovered by Bloomington. That was number 20, Cooper Childers, with the recovery. Pretty simple. That's danger averted.
Raiders will take over their first
and
10.
as we get a look at Bloomington's second drive, we get a look at another player to watch for them, Kavion Chestnut. We mentioned that as a running back, he's pretty much carried the load that was left by Rob Lanier last year. Rob Lanier, all-world running back for the Purple Raiders. Done very well at running back, and he also has a middle linebacker as we see his defensive stats. He's doing pretty well. Sacks and tackles galore for Chestnut. Speaking of Chestnut, he gets the carry, and he slips through some Peoria tackles into the second level, but ultimately gets brought down. I believe it's a first down. And they'll give him the first down.
Gets it up to the Peoria 42-yard line.
Yeah, big job here. Purple Raiders looking to strike back and getting a first down immediately. It's a good start.
And if you're Bloomington, you gotta. I mean, it's early in this ball game. We don't want to say this drive is a make or break, but the score and be in line with this Peoria team, put these opening drives very, very important. As Chestnut again, this time he gets the edge and he runs for a first down and then some, gain of some 15, 16 yards. And now Bloomington in Peoria territory at the 28-yard line.
Don't forget 50-50, they're going through the
Yeah,
stands.
big opportunity here for Bloomington, looking to tie this game up at least.
The football program, so please get your tickets out or get your money
Purple
out.
Raiders lined up. It's Hamilton taking the snap. He looked the throw, rolls out, tries to evade pressure. He does, but no, he doesn't. Great play there by Peoria. That was Judah Robertson with the sack. Nice play there by Robertson. Hamilton, very good athlete, but not unable to escape the hands of Robertson. And now Bloomington, kind of like how their first drive went. They went halfway down the Peoria territory, and then they been pushed back a little bit. 2nd and 18. Hamilton takes a snap, looking, throwing long, and that pass is, I believe it's caught, and it is caught. Nice catch made by Jamari Sutton, and Purple Raiders are marching down the field. Nice play there by Hamilton to Sutton.
Yeah, and that is exactly what Bloomington wanted right there. You get right back into that Peoria territory. Just an excellent throw here. Very long throw, got good air time, but the timing from Sutton just perfect making that catch.
Hamilton looking to Chestnut. Chestnut gets it off the lateral pass, and he's just tripped up. If he wasn't tripped up there, he would have been in for 6.
Hamilton's pass for Chestnut complete.
That was a nice play by Titus Wyatt. You know, that's not every tackle is created equal. Sometimes you do need to trip up your players to make that tackle, and he did. So good job by Wyatt. Chestnut was in for 6 until he wasn't. And now Bloomington will settle for a 2nd and 2. 2.5 left to go here in the first quarter. Bloomington on the doorstep as Hamilton gets the snap, gives it to Chestnut, but he's halted. I believe he ran into his own man, if not definitely the defensive line, and he was pushed back for a slight gain, if any gain. And when you run into big man Jacorius Green, number 75 for Peoria High, you're not getting anywhere. This kid is 6'3", 375 pounds. Yes, he is a mammoth of a human being. And believe this or not, folks, he got his first college offer when he was 12 years old. It's almost hard to believe that's even possible. But it was for him, and Coach Montgomery has all glowing things to say about him. As that pass is batted down, incomplete. That was a really nice play there by Quinn Crump, excuse me, not Chump. Nice play there by the Lions defense. Nice two plays by this Peoria High defense. Not letting that big play by Bloomington, kill their momentum. And now Bloomington is set for a 4th and 4, and they will go for it. So this is all of a sudden a very big play in this ball game.
And we have certainly seen great defense on both sides here in the early going, no doubt about it.
Hamilton looking to throw. He goes far side, and it's caught, but what is he in? No, he was out of bounds. He was out of bounds. That was Jordan Norton, who just couldn't keep his feet in bounds for the catch. It was a great catch, but obviously not a touchdown. That was a great try, though, from the Purple Raiders.
Yeah, I've got to commend the effort on that. A tough break there, being just out of bounds.
And Bloomington once again turns it over on downs to Peoria High. With 1:41 to go here in this ball game, as we get another look at the catch that could have been a touchdown. I believe his right foot was the deciding factor. You just need 1 foot, but I think that right foot that he had in purple, his toes were in white. So obviously that does not count as a touchdown. He was out of bounds. So Peoria High will start on their 9. Deep on their side of the field. And handoff will go on the far side to Melvin Jenkins, and Jenkins will get a decent chunk.
Number 9,
make it 2nd and short.
For the Lions. Taken down by 21, Isaiah Martin, after a gain on the play of 8 yards.
Here comes the Lions on offense again. A score here would make it obviously even harder for Bloomington to come back. Oh, nice pass there by Green. That was a pass caught by Carrion Woodard. And he picks up a first down.
Kyron Woodard is complete. Tackle made by 20. Cooper Chillers gets the Lions a first down at their own 27-yard line after a pickup of 10 yards.
Let's get a good look at Aaron Montgomery there, the head coach for Peoria High. There's very glowing things to say about his football team this year. The fact that there's so many seniors on this team with so many leadership, as there's a nice tackle there by Bloomington.
Is complete, taken down immediately by Carter Tyndall.
Nice play there by Tyndall to halt the Lions to no gain. But talking about Aaron Montgomery, this is a guy in his 2nd season at Peoria High. He's only got glowing things to say about his ball club. The fact that there's so many seniors at so many important positions, it's nothing really that he can complain about. There's a handoff. Excuse me, no, that was Green taking it himself, trying to get the edge. He does get the edge, and he'll just scurry out of bounds, but not before picking up a first down.
At the Peoria 38, gets 12 yards on the play and a first down.
As Green takes the carry, this Peoria team can beat you in so many different ways just based off of their running game. The fact that not only can Green run the ball, Power can run the ball, you have playmakers on the outside also that can run the ball. It can hurt teams defensively, and it certainly has this year as Power runs up the gut towards this Bloomington defense and picks up about 5. And now in the first quarter here at the Fred in Bloomington as Peoria has a 6-0 lead over the Purple Raiders. This is shaping up to be a good one here in Bloomington.
A routine for us that they learned this week in class.
So you got any thoughts on the first quarter and how it went?
Well, Michael, I think the defense was really sharp on both sides here in the early goings. Both Bloomington and Peoria had some tremendous defensive plays and allowed just one score despite both teams having multiple chances to get into the end zone. Again, Bloomington missing one by just a few inches on the boundary there, but I was really, really impressed with the defense. Again, both sides, I think, really should be commended for it. You've seen teams get long runs, and then right up there at those end zones, the tackles just keep coming one after the other. So defense, definitely the big word in that first quarter.
And while we have a stoppage and break for just a moment, we'll shout out our CSM Overtime. A lot of great articles coming from all sports, whether it's game stories, whether it's future stories, whether it's roundups. Our CSM Bracketology just released today from our own Jonathan Michael. So be sure to check that out for football if you're interested in how the postseason could shake out. It's getting that time of year for fall sports, not just football, but these games matter more. Handoff on the first play of the second quarter. We'll go to Pollard, and he'll pick up enough for a Peoria first down.
Williams and Chestnut get in on the stop. Gets enough yardage for the
So
first
Peoria
down.
picking up a first down early in the second quarter. Good start for them in this ball game. Bloomington looking to get a stop. Green in the shotgun, looking, throwing cross field, and that pass is caught and gets enough for a first down.
Green's pass for number 6, Jalen Rayford.
That was Jalen Rayford with the catch, and he will pick up a first down and then some. Called a gain of 12.
Again, Rayford, some tremendous effort there fighting off the Bloomington defense just as long as he could. Picks up a couple extra yards doing so.
So the Lions driving again. Green does an option play and he keeps the ball and then tries to get the edge, but unavailed. But there is a flag on the play.
We also have a penalty flag here.
As we look for the white cap, as he gets the call, it looks like it's on Peoria.
We have holding offense.
It is holding on Peoria.
It'll be a 10-yard penalty in the spot of the foul.
Jalen Rayford
Replay,
was called for
first
the
down.
hold for the Lions. And for a decent little gain there by Peoria, will be sent back. First and 19 for the Lions. As Green looks again, and this time he gives it to Rayford, and Rayford is stood up. Nice play there by Bloomington. That was number 5, Jordan Norton, doing it both on offense and defense, this time with a big defensive stop.
No gain on the play.
It's pretty important for for Bloomington to take advantage of Peoria's setbacks on that penalty. 2nd and 14. Handoff goes, but he stood up again. I believe that was Pollard with the carry.
Pollard on the carry for the Lions.
And he has stood up with the Bloomington defensive line.
Chestnut on the stop for the Raiders.
That was Chestnut, but our player to look for. He made a big play on defense, and he's probably going to get a lot more big plays on defense in this game. 3rd and 13. What do the Lions with their opponent offense have scheduled here? Here's Green rolling out to his right. He looks to throw. He does. The pass is caught. Was he in bounds? He was not in bounds. Nice attempt there by the Lions, but I think it was just like that Bloomington touchdown attempt. The foot was just out of bounds.
Brings up 4th down.
So right what Bloomington needed on that defensive possession to hold Peoria High. But we still got one more down the play. We know that Peoria High might go for this. Big moment in this ball game. Can Bloomington hold serve? The snap goes to Green. Green rolling out. Pressured. Tries to sift every man away. He gets away from it. Here comes Green. And just couldn't get the edge. And you turn over on downs to Bloomington. Great job by this Raiders defense.
Lions forced out of bounds by Cedric Gassaway at about the
Cedric Gassaway able to force him out. And it still remains a 6-0 ball game here in the early portion of the second quarter.
Yeah, a lot of pressure applied by both sides here.
And the Raiders take over on downs.
Certainly, it's been a situation where you think one team is going to break through.
And
the defense has been sharp again.
Bloomington with possession here on the 35. Hamilton pitches it out to Chestnut. Chestnut will get a 1 or 2 yards on the carry. This would be Bloomington's first win against Peoria High since 2018 if it were to happen tonight. Bloomington has had a 5-game losing streak against the Lions. Building as a program, though, are the Purple Raiders. There was a time in the early 80s to early 2010s that Bloomington was that consistent power, at least when it comes to Central Illinois. They have since rebuilt that a little bit in the past few years. And they're looking for that one signature win against a big Big 12 program. As a handoff goes to Chestnut again. Excuse me, Gassaway. Cedric Gassaway. Speaking of the series history, like we had mentioned, Bloomington without a win against Peoria High since 2018. These two teams since 2018 have matched up 5 times, and it really has not been that close, other than maybe a couple touchdowns away from each other, a couple matchups. But yeah, it wasn't looking so good for Bloomington against Peoria, but that can definitely change tonight.
Yeah, no better time than now to rewrite the history books there if you're Bloomington.
As Hamilton looking to evade sacks, a lot of Peoria High defenders are taking their chance at him, and finally they get him down. And Jaquarius Green, I wouldn't think he'd ever miss a sack. I'd say the least. He's a phenomenal football player. Is Jaquarius Green, big number, 75 in white. And that does set Bloomington back with a 4th down and long. And they'll look the punt. Special teams was the culprit for the Purple Raiders in the last 2 games they played. They're on a 2-game losing streak. It is Bloomington, and when talking to Niall McKay, he's mentioned that the game against Normal Community, the first of the two losses, they were with them, but special teams was the culprit. And then they lost last Friday against Peoria Notre Dame. Special teams once again proved to be a little decisive. They'll look to clean that up in tonight's game. That was a decent punt there. Kicked by the Purple Raiders. And Peoria High will be set up in Peoria field position on their own field, own side of the field. As we can look at Aaron Montgomery, he was mentioning to me on a phone call that, you know, he's second-year guy. His first year, everything felt like it went so fast for him. And he kind of related it to me in a sense that it's kind of like college. You know, when you're a college freshman and playing college football for the first time, it might be fast for you. And he kind of said in the pros, too, in the NFL. If you're an NFL rookie, it might be fast for you. That was his case his first year. And he has since said that his second year, this season, everything's kind of slowed down for him. He's got more trust in his coaching staff, and he's got more, I wouldn't say more trust in his team, but he knows more of his team's capabilities. So we get a handoff here. Oh, nice run there. That was Pollard. Excuse me, that was Melvin Jenkins with the carry. But Montgomery looking like he's going to have a successful second season, just like he had a successful first season with the program. And should be another really good season for the Lions. Obviously, they've already qualified for the playoffs. A win tonight would pretty much keep them in the playoffs. Nothing would take them out if they got their 6th win. And we got a pass here and getting the edge and not going out of bounds without a fight was the Lions. That was Pollard. Pollard can do it all running in the passing game.
Forced out of bounds by the Raiders, number 15, Zion Pargo, at the Bloomington 37-yard line. A pickup of 10 and another Lion first down.
Crowd is getting a little bit more amped up. Understanding that these are bigger drives now. I mean, obviously the game's not even at halftime. These drives do matter. This game is going to be close. Green looking long. Oh, just incomplete. He tried to fit it in between two Bloomington defenders, and that's a hard pass to make. And he just wasn't able to make it. That pass was intended for Darion Mays.
Is incomplete.
Yeah, credit the throw.
Second down.
You know, a very, very strong throw under some tough circumstances there.
First real time we've seen Green try to air out the ball. I mean, we've seen him a couple times so far in this game, but a lot of Peoria High's attack, really no one's surprised, really, is the running game and the short passing game. But Green can't air it out. Montgomery had said that Green has become more of a quarterback as he's seen him develop his senior season. There's Green rolling out to his left a little bit. Finds his man. That's Mays. And he'll be tackled down. Excuse me, that was Jalen Rayford.
Gets the first down.
Spin move on a Bloomington defender, and he gets the Lions into the red zone.
Inside the Bloomington 10-yard line at the 9. A pickup of 28 and a Lion first down, first and goal.
It's a big play, again, with 28 yards for the Lions. And they're in first and goal territory on the 9. First and goal. Handoff to Pollard, and Pollard is sit up once again by this Bloomington front. A gain of 1, maybe 2, if any gain, really.
Jenkins carries for the Lions.
A gain of 1.
On the stop for the Raiders.
And the Purple Raiders, just like they've been doing pretty much this entire game, they let 1 or 2 big plays come through, but when it comes time to hold serve, they definitely do so. Make it tough on this Lions team to score when they're close. This time Green keeps the ball, tries to get the edge. He does. He shows the ball, and he scores a touchdown. Touchdown Peoria High.
Lions doubling up their scoring again. Green not having to do too much with that one, just simply take the ball and run with it. And gets it in, and Peoria High doubling their lead. A big touchdown. They have thwarted Bloomington's chances so far in this one. Now 2 times in the end zone.
An option play by the Lions brings them 6. As we get a 2-point conversion to possibly make it a 14-0 ball game. And we get a stoppage of play. Not really sure what the stoppage is, but that was more of a read option play. And once Green found the edge and saw that there was no Bloomington defender around him, he knew he was in for 6. And he can make it 8 on this 2-point attempt. Green might take it in himself, and he does. Did he get there? And he did. The near side official from our view counts him in, and it's 14-0 Peoria High.
Peoria High missing the 2-point conversion the first time, gets it done on the second go-around. And for Peoria High, this is right into their playbook of winning games here. Kind of put some pressure early and just kind of rack up those points. Again, a lot of lopsided wins for the Lions.
He lost his lid on that play, too. That's always a little scary, but, you know, some people are, as the kids might say, dogs. And, you know, they don't care if they lose their helmet. They're going to try to score, and they're going to try to make the play to help their team get the victory. It's early in this one, though. Second quarter, 5 minutes, 48 seconds left to go. And Peoria has a 14-0 lead over Bloomington. With the Lions kicking off with Orina again.
And Bloomington right now needs to put together a response on offense. Defensively, aside from a couple plays, has been relatively strong, but that offense yet to break through, so we'll see if this is their time to do so.
Orena, the onside kick. And it is easily recovered again by the Purple Raiders. That was Jamari Sutton. Nice play by the senior. And Bloomington will be lined up, I believe, at the 50. And yes, they will be at the 50, right above the B in the midfield logo as they like to set up their offense. And, you know, you don't want to say a second quarter drive is big, but down by 2 scores against a team like Peoria High, you got to feel like this drive has got to be big. Hamilton looking, throwing, one-on-one coverage, and wasn't able to get it there. Fans are pleading for a flag. They won't get it. And Hamilton, an incomplete pass to Sutton. Nice coverage there by Peoria High.
Yeah, Bloomington looking to break through, nearly a terrific pass. Again, the story thus far for the Purple Raiders has kind of been just a few small inches, a little bit of distance there. We saw it over in the end zone, seen it now on a couple passes.
Hamilton under center, hands it off to Chestnut, and Chestnut is wrapped up. He might have lost yardage. Nice play there by Peoria High. Nice tackle by Charles Heron, number 44 for the Lions. So far, this Peoria High defensive line has been winning the trench battle.
Yeah, so far, Peoria High certainly has been just a little bit more on top defensively. Bloomington been sharp as well.
3rd and 11 for the Purple Raiders. Got to have it play here. Hamilton looking, gives it to his man. That's Chestnut. Chestnut getting a first down and then some. Gets the edge, tries to get more. And he'll get a first down and then some. Jordan Norton, excuse me, with the big play. And once would have thought Bloomington didn't have life, now they have life. Now they're in deep inside Peoria territory.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Bloomington needed right there. You see Hamilton, instead of airing the ball, kind of a little soft toss, a little bit of a different game plan.
Chestnut gets a gain of a few. But now Bloomington fans are a little bit more excited. See a big play finally go their way. On the 19-yard line, 2nd and 7. Bloomington, this is going to be a big possession here. Can they score a touchdown? Hamilton, lateral pass to Chestnut. Chestnut finding the edge. He'll get the edge. Oh, and I think he slipped. But he does get a first down, and he gets into the red zone. Nice play there by Chestnut.
Bloomington continuing to apply pressure here.
Stop was made by 9.
Haven't been able to break through yet in that scoring column, but setting themselves up here. And you have to think, if you're Bloomington, you want a score here before this first half concludes.
Peoria does take a timeout, and they will look to talk things over and try to get their defense situated. Bloomington looking to score. They're looking to try to get into the scoring column and make this game at least a one-score ball game. 14-0. The 2 Peoria touchdowns coming off the legs of Breon Green, the senior quarterback. As we get a look at Niall Mulcahy. He's also in his 2nd year at Bloomington. Identical records, similar records, I should say, to Coach Montgomery of Peoria. 14-5 is Montgomery, 13-5 is Mulcahy, but the signature win is something that Mulcahy really is looking for. They beat some pretty good programs in the Big 12. Normal West is one that is certainly talked about, but to get that win against a team like a Normal Community or a Peoria High is something that he's been wanting and something that he wants to get eventually. Does it come tonight? We'll see.
Yeah, it could be getting his signature win if Bloomington comes back and takes this.
The score here will go a long way as Hamilton takes a direct snap. It looks for the end zone, and right before you can reach for the pylon, he gets tackled and forced out of bounds. That was a nice play by Jeremiah Rayford.
Jeremiah Rayford.
And Bloomington is set up around the 3 or the 4 yard line.
Ball will be spotted at the 4-yard line after a gain of 6.
So Bloomington,
Second and goal.
it's baby steps. You're getting closer. Can they
Yeah.
punch it in?
Yeah, and we saw Peoria High kind of take an approach, kind of those small steps as well here. And it worked for them. You see here, Bloomington's able to come through.
Second and goal on the 4. A pitch play to Chestnut. Can he get there? No, he cannot. Nice play there. Once again, Jeremiah Rayford.
Taken down by Jeremiah Rayford.
Nice play there by the Lions. It was him against Chestnut, one-on-one, and Rayford made a nice play. And now it's 3rd and 4. No gain on the play as well, so ball is once again on the 4. 3rd and goal. Hamilton under center, hands it to Chestnut, and Chestnut has once again stood up. He might have gotten a gain of 1 or 2 yards. But once again, it's not enough for 6. And now it's 4th down and 2.
Pickup of 2. 4th and goal.
Nice play there by Dazon McCaston for the Lions. The Lions have another big stop in them. Or can Bloomington finally get into the end zone? This play will decide it. 4th and goal on the 2. A pitch play, the Chestnut. Can he get the edge? He will. It's a touchdown for Bloomington.
Goes 2 yards for the touchdown.
Big score there for Bloomington.
On to try
We
the
figured
extra
needed
point
to
for
get
number 10,
in the
Brooks
scoring
Kadaki,
column here
and out
before
of the
this
hole
first half
of Skylar
concludes. They
Green.
do so.
Leighton Vandergraaf will snap.
And now the Purple Raiders with some momentum.
Tempting the extra point for the Raiders is Brush.
Kadakian's kick
Kadakian.
is good.
His kick is good, and it is a 14-7 ball game. Nice response by Bloomington. They finally get into the end zone. It took them a lot of plays once they got into the red zone, but they finally punched it in for 6. Chestnut getting some attention there. He's pretty much the do-it-all guy for Bloomington. You have some of those kids, especially in smaller school football. But you get some of these kids in big school football like Bloomington is, and they can make big stops on defense, and they also can run the ball and do it plays on offense. And Chestnut definitely can do it all for the Raiders.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, you take one look at him out there on the field, you can tell he is a special kind of player.
Back deep for the
He doesn't look at all that big. He doesn't look like he can impose his will, but he's a little shorter. But that doesn't mean he doesn't run hard and cause havoc on the football field. He's a special player. So the Purple Raiders will kick off. And deep, the receive it and take a knee. Are the Lions look to set up on around their 25-yard line.
42-yard kick with no return.
First and 10 for the Peoria High Lions. Bloomington with some momentum going their way after they scored on their last possession. They're going to look to hold Peoria High here and make this even more of a ball game. Pass is caught. for a pretty decent chunk of yards for the Lions.
Green's pass for Pollard is complete.
It's Tryon Pollard pass from Green.
At about the Peoria 25 after a pickup of 7.
Here come the Lions again. Second and pretty short. Green once again. Looking the pass. He'll go deep this time. He's got a wide open man, but just overthrows him. That pass was intended for number 2, Demarion Zapata.
Green's pass intended for Zapata is incomplete.
Big play here for Bloomington. Their defense off of a score on their offensive possession, but before that we have a flag on Peoria.
For the previous spot. Replay, second down.
And the Lions nearly could have gotten a big play there. The pass was incomplete, but even if it was complete, it would have been brought back, a flag on the Lions. 2nd and 8. Green gives it to Pollard, and Pollard gets a few.
On the carry for the Lions up towards the 25.
And it'll set up a 3rd and medium to short. Once again, big play here for this Bloomington defense to halt the Lions. A 3rd and 3. They give to Pollard, and he stood up. Nice play there by Bloomington. Maybe even lost a yard, but for sure did not gain any yardage. Bloomington does take a timeout to stop time. 1:26 left to go here in the first half.
Yeah, and Bloomington right now really like to end this first half here on a strong note, not letting Peoria High get back into the scoring column here. A good timeout call right here. Just kind of slow things down. Coach Mulcahy can kind of give his guys a breather here. Just around 1.5 minutes left. You certainly want to have some good execution ending off this first half here. Makes you feel good about coming in the second half.
Well, at the 4th and 3, if they do get a stop here defensively, they will get a ball. They will get the ball back, and not only will they get the ball back, they will get the ball back favorably in their territory, in the opponent's territory, and they'll have nearly 90 seconds to score. But that is if they stop Peoria here. 4th and 3, the Lions go for it. Green takes it himself to the right, and he will get the first down. Nice run there by Breon Green as he points forward to signal a first down.
Tackle made by Isaiah Martin for the Raiders. Gets the yardage for the first down up to the 33.
And the Lions are with a new set of downs, and Bloomington is not in any hurry to stop the clock. Stopping it, I'm presuming the stop the clock if they were to stop the Lions. But now here come the Lions the other way. Another deep shot by Green. Another overthrow. That pass was intended for Jalen Radford.
Radford is incomplete.
Minute 4 seconds left to go here in the first half. A pretty competitive first half, may we add. I mean, Peoria High, we know them for being that opponent offense that likes to strike and score a lot of points, but they only have 14. Which for their standards is like another team saying they have 3 points in the first half. They have 14. And Bloomington has 7, so it's a one-score game. A give will go to Pollard, and will get close to a first down, and he's a yard or two short.
Up to about the 40, a pickup of 7.
And the clock is ticking under a minute here. We have 49 seconds left to go here until halftime. 3rd and 3 for the Lions. Here's Green. looking medium, and the pass is incomplete.
Green's pass is incomplete.
Pass was intended for Zapata. And it'll bring up another 4th down, 4th and 3 at the clock stopped. Another big thing to note. Bloomington doesn't have to call another timeout. They can keep 2 timeouts with the clock stopped at 35 seconds. If they were to get the ball, it'd be on the Peoria High side of the field with plenty of time to maybe get a score of their own, but they got to stop the Lions here. 4th and 3. Green powered shifts out left. Green tries to keep it himself, and he will not get there. Nice play by Bloomington.
Martin makes the stop.
Nice play there by Martin of Bloomington.
No gain on the play,
And the Raiders will take over on downs with a chance to possibly tie up this ball game. They're situated favorably on Peoria High side of the field on the 40. To get another look there. Peoria High has ran the option play quite a few times, and it has worked for them at times, but it did not work there. Bloomington was all over it as they stopped Breon Green before he can pick up a 1st down.
Yeah, and Bloomington now looking for a little bit of late half magic here.
Hamilton looking to strike something for the Raiders. He'll look the pass, rolls out to his right. He's going to look and just overthrows his man. That was Cooper Childers. He was looking to throw it to, and it was just overthrew his man. Well, maybe if Childers was about 6-7 more feet tall.
Yeah, a little bit of overthrow in there. Perhaps that adrenaline running a little high right now.
Big moment in this ball game. They can definitely go inside the halftime locker room with a 1-score deficit and be okay, but it would mean a lot more on senior night in front of your home crowd against this Peoria High team that you've not beaten in the last 5 tries. If you can get a score here to tie up this ball game. But there looks to be a little bit of confusion, and I believe a timeout from Bloomington. And that will be the case. Hamilton was looking like he was confused, and he and his coach will have a conversation.
Yeah, perhaps a little miscommunication there on what exactly the game plan is going in, so timeout called to make sure everyone is on the same page.
Big game tonight, obviously, even though Peoria is another, I'd say, 45 minutes west on I-74. Those fans do travel well in the Peoria Public Schools. Peoria High, no exception, obviously. Decent little crowd here for the Lions. 2nd and 10. Hamilton in the shotgun with Chestnut in the backfield with them. Hamilton looking to pass. He has a man. He's wide open. That pass was caught, and it was fumbled, but he definitely did make the catch. That was Carter Tyndall. And there was a penalty flag thrown that it might be coming back. Let me get a word from the white hat. Nice look here from Hamilton. That's one of the very few chunk plays we've seen out of Bloomington. Catch was made by Tyndall, as we see, he just fumbled it out of bounds. But a flag was thrown, and we're going to get a word here in a second from the official. They're going to be conversating more about this. If I had to guess, because no one's moved yet really for any team, it's probably on Bloomington, which would be honestly a killer, because you get that chunk play, and you never really know how many of those will be coming against a team like Peoria High. And if you get this called back, it's not going to be the most ideal situation with only 20 seconds left to go before break.
We have sideline interference on the white.
Oh, it is on Peoria High.
Half the distance to the goal. It'll be first down, Bloomington.
Sideline interference called on Peoria High. As we get a look here, see where this comes from, if
The foul
we can
is
see it
a
here.
dead ball foul. It is assessed from the end of the run, which is half the distance.
Nothing really
to the
can see
goal,
there from the
5
replay
yard
that would
line.
constitute a sideline interference. But nonetheless, Bloomington at the 5-yard line. So not only do they get that big chunk play, but they get half the distance to the goal attached onto it. So they're in really good field position to possibly tie up this ball game. And wouldn't this be a big sign looking forward for this Bloomington team if they can score and make this a tie ball game potentially?
Yeah, that would certainly be a big moment, a big plus going into halftime with all that momentum. Falling down early 14-0, then you come back and tie it 14-14.
Has elected to start the game clock on the snap. By rule, the penalty was on the defense.
Game clock will be started on the official's whistle. Or, excuse me, the snap. Game clock will be started on the snap.
Hey, Raider fans, don't miss the fun of the annual BHS Booster
So here
Club
comes
Raider Night Out.
Bloomington
This
looking
is
to
the
score,
only dinner and raffle
but that won't be
auction will take
before
place
Coach
next
Aaron
on
Montgomery
November
of
15th
Peoria
in
High
Moose Lodge.
wants an
Tickets are now
explanation
available
about
in the
what,
athletic office or from any
what
varsity level
transpired.
coach, and we hope we'll see you there.
It's kind of one of those weird
at
instances. You
Raider
don't see
Night
a
Out.
sideline interference called every game you go to. It's one of those ones that when it is called, you kind of do want an explanation because it doesn't happen all the time. But nothing's going to change the official's mind, nor would it. And it is first and goal on the 5 from Bloomington looking to score. Here's Hamilton looking to the outside, and it's just incomplete. Jordan Norton was the one targeted for that pass, and just incomplete.
Yeah, so close there. Was Hamilton on getting that so close, was Norton on catching it.
So close, but they do have a few more plays to run. Second and goal, they essentially have 3 downs to play with. They're going to be on 4th and goal. They might go for it then, but they're going to see what they can do on 2nd and goal and so forth. Hamilton, he's alone. Spread it out, are the Raiders. Handoff, a sweeping handoff to Chestnut, and he gets about half the distance. And Bloomington will call a timeout.
Timeout, Bloomington. It's their 3rd and final timeout.
Final timeout for the Purple Raiders. 10.6 left to go here in the first half.
Kendrick Owens makes the stop for the Lions as Raiders take another timeout.
And the Purple Raiders will call a timeout. 14-7 your score so far here in the first half. That could very well change depending on what the Purple Raiders do on the 2-yard line. They're on the doorstep of punching in for another 6 points. It's going to be a very big play. Essentially 2 downs to play with. You got to assume they're probably going to throw the ball so that way they can either complete a pass for a touchdown or stop the clock if it's an incompletion, or they could run the ball and maybe try to get out of bounds, but given there's not so much space, running the ball probably isn't necessarily the play. Especially if you think you're going to score, maybe. Hamilton the pass, and it's picked off. Peoria High. That is number 1, Darian Mays. And Mays will bring it out to around the 45-yard line. What a big play by Peoria High. With 2 more seconds left to go here in this first half. Peoria High could score again if they really wanted to, but nonetheless, before we get with that, their offense, what a big play for their defense.
Yeah, that was a tremendous play all the way around, and you talk about flipping the switch there momentum-wise. And just when we thought Bloomington was going to strike back, tie the game, I mean, just a terrific grab over there by Mays, and then running it quite a distance.
47-yard return.
Yeah, Mays jumped that route easily. It looked like he knew what was coming, and that's kind of the plus you get when you watch film. Nice play there by Mays to set up Peoria High, and many teams will kneel in this situation to send it to break. Well, some teams, not the Lions. One more play before the half's over. This is the finale of the first half. Green airing it out, and it's picked off. Hot potato here at the Fred. This pass is intercepted and brought back. That was Childers with the pick, and Bloomington escapes any danger they could have had with that Peoria interception and ends the first half with a 14-7 score. Lions ahead of the Raiders.
The stop was made by Breon Green, and we come to the end of the first half.
As we look back here at the first half, got touchdowns, 3 touchdowns as a matter of fact. Peoria with 2. They got the scoring started here at 14-0 thanks to 2 touchdown runs by Breon Green, a 1-yard touchdown run to start things in the middle of the first quarter, and then he had ended up scoring an 8-yard touchdown run in the middle of the second quarter. That made it 14-0. And then Bloomington got the scoring started on their half of things with Chestnut, Kavion Chestnut, with a 2-yard touchdown to make it 14-7. And that is obviously our score. So obviously a big game for the Big 12 and the big game for this area. And, you know, just a big game in general. What are your thoughts on the first half?
Yeah, it was an exciting first half, just as we thought it would be. Peoria High going out in front there, 2 touchdowns to go up 14-0. Bloomington able to trim the lead in half. A couple real sparkling plays there just as we ended off the half by both Peoria with a huge interception, and then Bloomington picking off ball there right at the end. So lots of defense, lots of offense on display, and a few nifty plays in there in between. It certainly was everything we thought it would be. An exciting first half between 2 very talented teams. And if that first half is anything, we are in for a real treat in the second half.
Well, this night definitely means something for Bloomington. Not only are they playing a team that they've so desperately wanted to beat, they have not beaten Peoria since 2018. They have played them 5 times since they have last beaten them and lost. A 5-game losing streak for Bloomington. It's their senior night, and obviously a matchup against 2 5-1 teams. Obviously it's going to be big in its own right. So it's been a big night in Bloomington, and this game is not disappointed. But I will say this. Both teams have not had a lot of chunk plays that led into touchdowns. A lot of the touchdowns, obviously, all touchdowns have come in the red zone. A lot of these touchdowns obviously have been in the red zone, and it's just been hard to get that one chunk play that lead into a touchdown. It's been pretty much baby steps.
Yeah, it certainly has. Haven't seen too many kind of real huge passes and then a rushing touchdown. It has definitely been kind of taking some small steps, gain the yardage when you can, and then once you get real close to the end zone, then you kind of make that final push to get the ball through. So we're seeing kind of a slow and steady wins the race sort of game plan right now when it comes to scoring. But again, we'll see how these teams adjust in the second half. Could we see more big rushes? That all remains to be seen.
Stats for the first half include Keontae Hamilton. 13 attempts with 5 completions for 100 yards. Jamari Sutton is the lead not Jamari Sutton. It's actually Carter Tyndall with that one big play, the one chunk play that we have so rarely seen tonight. He had caught a pass for 30 yards. He leads the Raiders in receiving. Jordan Norton has a catch for 28 yards. Kavion Chestnut has a couple catches, 2 catches for 20 yards, and Jamari Sutton has 1 reception for 22 yards. Kavion Chestnut has done work. I mean, he's not had that one big run that maybe some fans have been accustomed to seeing, but he's got 10 carries for 34 yards. And then Jordan Norton had 1 play that he got stuffed in the backfield. He has 1 carry for -6 yards. And then Keontae Hamilton has 1 carry for 4 yards. Looking at Peoria High side of things, Breon Green has 85 yards out of 8 completions out of 16 attempts. Receiving, looks like Jalen Rayford has 55 yards out of 4 catches, and Darion Mays has 21 yards out of 3 receptions. Rushing, Charion Poward has 55 yards out of 13 carries. And Melvin Jenkins has 26 yards out of 3 carries, and then Breon Green has a couple touchdowns off of 45 yards on 9 carries. So, I mean, pretty much, you look at the stats for both sides, there's nothing that really sticks out of both teams. Both teams have really done the same in terms of stats. Nothing really sticks out. As we get a look at halftime festivities here at the Fred. Once again, big ball game. I can't understate it enough. This game, it's not necessarily the biggest in the Big 12. Those come next week, and they're definitely bigger games. This isn't going to decide a conference championship, but this is a big game in its own right. Bloomington looking for that signature win, and Peoria looking to get that 6th win and keep their ticket in the playoffs and not lose it. Look to send things to break, and we'll be right back with more after this. Clutch Sports Media.
Central Illinois, we're going to overtime. After 4 years of preps coverage in Central Illinois, Clutch Sports Media is ready for a new era. CSM Overtime.
What is CSM Overtime? We're going beyond the broadcast to give you in-depth coverage of your teams,
Your stories.
your stats and standings, your highlights and action shots.
With your subscription, you'll get to see news and feature stories from all sports, up-to-date stats from around the area, and thoughtful analysis from our team of experts. As for our broadcast and social media coverage, it's only getting better.
With your support of Clutch Sports Media Overtime, we'll continue to grow our free broadcast coverage with more sports, more games, and more innovation.
And thanks to our partnership with Too Efficient Media, your social media feeds will be filled with Central Illinois' best sights and sounds.
CSM Overtime will also give you access to full galleries from some of the most talented photographers and videographers in our region.
As the new season approaches, it's time for more.
More action.
More stories.
More coverage of all Central Illinois sports. It's Clutch Sports Media Overtime.
Welcome back to the Fred in Bloomington. Peoria High has a 14-7 lead over the host Purple Raiders. As we'll take a look here at the halftime show from Bloomington. A nice festivity here, senior night here at the Fred. And we'll take a look here in the first half more and talk more about what we saw score. And the scoring plays have been pretty much running. Nothing really that's too chunky, if you will, out of what we've seen out of the scoring. Scoring got started with pretty much a Breon Green showcase. The senior quarterback, 2 touchdowns to bring the score to 14-0 in midway through the second quarter. And then Bloomington answered with their own touchdown their own right. Kavion Chestnut runs in a 2-yard touchdown to bring the score to 14-7. Once again, a big one in the Big 12. It kind of goes in the name of the conference, if you will. Here's a look here at how the first half ended. Bloomington was actually on the doorstep of possibly tying up this ball game. They were on their own 2-yard line in the red zone on the goal territory, and they had thrown an interception. And then Peoria High, on the final play of the half, I'm sure they had really nothing to lose, had thrown their own interception to end the half. So we get a look here at some of these game plays, and this highlight package will probably show you what it's pretty much been like the entire game. Both teams have not been able to really get much going in terms of chunk plays. Just been a lot of, like I had told you before, baby steps. You're not really taking that one big step. You're just going small and small, and you have occasionally a couple bigger plays, but it's mostly just been running plays and short passing plays from both teams.
Yeah, and I think that speaks to the defense that we've seen from both sides here tonight, knowing that some of those bigger plays are not going to be very easy to execute tonight. So kind of taking those smaller steps getting just a handful of yards at a time and trying to just kind of keep the ball there on your downs. That's really kind of been the story of the scoring here tonight.
Once again, Breon Green, from Peoria, got the scoring started on his pretty much his legs. The senior quarterback scores a 1-yard touchdown to make it 6-0 midway through the first, and then that was the only scoring in the first quarter. The second quarter, with 5:50 to go, he also scampers in an 8-yard touchdown run to make it 14-0, and then Kavion Chestnut for Bloomington gets the Purple Raiders on the board for the first time with 2:19 left in the second with a 2-yard touchdown run, and that's pretty much been it. I mean, like we have said, there's been some chunk plays here and there, but a lot of it has been running the football and getting yardage that way and not necessarily getting the big chunk play, whether it's on the pass or the run. It's a lot of short passes. Here's a total of the first half. Peoria High just over 200 yards of total offense. A couple of touchdowns to go with 3 turnovers. And they've also been bit with the penalty bug relative to Bloomington. Bloomington has not had a single penalty called on them, but both teams are tied with 3 turnovers.
Yeah, and those turnovers have been big for both sides there. And again, talk about defense. You get those turnovers when you have some strong defense on display. Both sides really go toe-to-toe in the defensive margin here. I'll be really curious to see coming out of halftime how the game plans look starting off that second half. Are we going to see maybe a little bit more of a push? Are we going to see more of those small steps that we've seen? I'll be curious to see how both teams adjust to each other.
Well, Peoria High they also will be receiving the second half kickoff, so it also will be a matter of seeing what they will do on their first drive. Obviously, we know Peoria High in this area is the team that likes to score points. There's some teams around the state that will, say they score a lot of points, but not a lot of teams score the points that Peoria High does. I mean, you take a look at what they've had, especially against their own city folks in Richwoods and Nagual. They had played the Rams earlier in the year, and that final score, and I was actually kind of surprised of the final score, even though I know it's Peoria High. It was 76-6. That is a 70-point differential in a football game, and that is pretty ridiculous. And then they have their highest point total of the season a couple weeks ago at Richwoods. They beat the Knights 80-30. So a lot of what Peoria High does is score points, and they do it at bunches. And if you're able to hold them, like Bloomington is obviously holding them probably to their lowest, if not like the second lowest scoring they've had in one half this season at 14 points. So you got to credit the Bloomington defense for what they've done, and you got to credit Coach Mulcahy for what he's game planned for the Lions.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, certainly whatever Coach Mulcahy had in his scouting report and his game plans going in has certainly been effective in there tonight, keeping Bloomington right into this one, just a score away from tying this one up, really, and certainly an accomplishment to keep Peoria limited at just 14. And again, Bloomington, you have to feel like you have a real shot at this one here. Going into that second half, apply that pressure early.
As we take a look here at the standings in the Big 12, this is a Big 12 conference game tonight, so obviously the standings are pretty important as it goes for this game. Peoria is sitting at 5-1. If they were to win and if Normal Community were to lose, that is the Big 12 championship game next week at Peoria. So that would be a very big game for the Lions if it were to be that way. I mean, it's a big game anyway when you're facing 7A powered Normal Community. Bloomington is sitting pretty much in the middle of the pack in the Big 12 at 4-2. They are pretty much in the playoffs. We had mentioned it in the pregame, and we mentioned it throughout this game. They have 5 wins overall, so it's not like they're not in the playoffs, but a 6th win tonight would guarantee them a spot in the playoffs. And they wouldn't. It would make sure that they're in the playoffs, and there wouldn't be any doubts about them not being in the playoffs. But the difference between 5 and 6 wins in the IHSA, it could be the difference between where you go in your class. It could be the difference in terms of the playoffs. It could be a difference between where you go. It could be a difference between who you host. I'd rather be a 6-3 team in the playoffs than a 5-4 team. Those 5-4 teams, they usually play the teams that are 9-0 and 8-1. That are usually powerhouses in their own areas and in the states. So I'd rather be 6-3 heading into the postseason than 5-4. But with that being said, there's also games happening next Friday as well that conclude the regular season in the IHSA. So even though they lose, even though Bloomington loses tonight, they still have a chance to get the 6th win next week. They play Centennial. Anything that sticks out to you about these Big 12 standings as we look forward into the second half?
Yeah, Michael, again, like you mentioned here, just one win right now can really impact your playoff picture, who you're matching up with. So a big game here, and especially second to last week of the season, you definitely want to pick up wins in these last 2 games and set yourself up again for a more favorable matchup there in the playoffs. So big team, but a lot of great competition in the conference and all around the state. So certainly don't quite have an easy route no matter which way it goes, but you certainly want to give yourself the best odds going into that playoff action.
I want to take a little shout out to Peoria Notre Dame. This is the team that is comparing to the Big 12 in a very small class. They're in a 3A, or excuse me, they're in the 4A class in the playoffs, which is a bigger class. It's like in the middle in terms of 8A to 1A in IHSA, but in terms of where the Big 12 is, it is a smaller class. They beat Bloomington pretty bad last Friday. It was 53-19 in favor of the Irish. Peoria Notre Dame actually qualified for the playoffs after they beat the Purple Raiders. And when talking to Coach Niall McKay for Bloomington about his season and how it's been, the fact that he's been on a 5-game losing streak and then the last 2 weeks he's actually lost, he's told me that obviously, you know, facing a team like Normal Community, you're going to have your struggles. It's the best team in the conference, if not one of the best teams in the conference. But then you face a team like Peoria Notre Dame that, you know, if you don't come to play, it's going to be very tough. And he admitted to me that they just didn't come to play. And Peoria Notre Dame, he also admitted to me that they just don't get the respect that he thinks that they deserve. So, yeah, shout out to Peoria Notre Dame. They actually knocked off Class 4A power last year in the playoffs, Rochester. So it's a very solid program in Peoria Notre Dame that looks to be very solid this year at 5-2. Looking ahead to the start of the second half, Peoria High will receive the second half kickoff as Bloomington will look to keep things close. You can't ask for anything more than to keep things close if you're Bloomington, especially with a team like Peoria High.
Kelly and Castaiga injury attorneys, high fee.
Yeah, you know, Peoria High going into the second half here, they're going to be looking to score and score often. Try and, again, just like they've done all season long, kind of run up the score on their opponents, blow the game wide open. Bloomington is going to need to continue doing what they did in that first half, apply pressure on the defensive side, then take advantage of some opportunities on the offensive side.
Contact our athletic department to learn more how you can support Raiderville.
Certainly, and you know, we look at, you know, how this game could go. I mean, this opening kickoff and this opening drive for Peoria High, for Bloomington's sake, is, I mean, you don't want to say it's a drive of the game immediately because we're not even through the third quarter in this instance. We're just starting the third quarter. But this drive for Bloomington defensively is going to probably decide how this game's going to go.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, again, a team like Peoria High, you can't give them too many opportunities on mistakes made out there. So Bloomington definitely going to need to be sharp in this first drive of the half. And we will see how it unfolds as we are very close to that second half action.
Teams are getting set up. Bloomington is going to be kicking off to Peoria High to start this second half. Thank you for sticking with us. And here comes the second half.
Second half, Coach Tadakian kicks off for the Raiders. Back deep for the Lions. Number 7, Kyron Woodard.
Kyron Woodard is back to return for Peoria High.
Back, number 1, Darion Mace.
Darion Mays is also back for the Lions. And here we go, the start of the second half. Big one here in Bloomington. Peoria High in Bloomington's 14-7 as we get through one half and another half ready to kick off. Here we go. And it's a kick that is sent decently far. It's returned. It's Darion Mays. And Mays will be stopped.
Mays on the return for the 14 up to about
Not before
32.
a little decent gain. He gets to the 32, 33-yard line.
Tackle made by number 14, Seville Dangerfield Jr.
And here comes Peoria High. This, like we had said, this might be one of the biggest drives of the game, just the fact that Bloomington had some momentum. They had lost it a little bit after that interception by the Lions deep and nearly into their end zone. Killed the momentum, and now Peoria High with momentum pretty much at a standstill, I would say, can not only go up 2 scores, but get that momentum back. But it starts here for the Lions as Breon Green in the shotgun, gets the snap, rolls out, decides to take it himself, and a nice tackle there. Breon Green gets a play of 5 yards. As that was Glass for Bloomington with the stop.
Up to about the 38-yard line, a pickup of 6, second down.
Bloomington defense has been holding strong. Just a couple mishaps near the goal line have hurt them. Here's Green, gets the edge, and he's still going. Here's Breon Green, and he's finally forced out of bounds. Just as you thought he might just be running out of bounds laterally, he turns it upfield and gets a pretty big gain.
Green on the carry for the Lions, gets the first down, pushed out of bounds by Childers for the Raiders at the Bloomington 44-yard
Hard
line.
guy to bring down or even push out of bounds. Breon Green, he is an athletic athlete, to say the least. Here's Green, the handoff to Pollard, and Pollard will get a few as Bloomington's defensive line has certainly done his job on the running attack of Peoria High.
Making a stop for the Raiders, 73.
If your name's not Breon Green.
Pick up on the play of 3, second down.
Lions on the Bloomington side of the field. Green takes the snap, hands it off again to Pollard, and Pollard gets a gain of a few.
Pollard carries for the Lions. Tackle made by Cedric Gassaway. No gain.
It's 3rd and 7. This is a big moment in this ball game for Bloomington. If they're able to stop the Lions here, it can make the Lions feel very uncomfortable on a 4th down situation. But you got to get there first. Here's the snap. A handoff. Oh, it's a fake. And Green will, I think, will get the first down.
For the Lions.
Will they give it to him? It's close.
Steps out of bounds at about
They will not give it to him.
36-yard line.
In fact, I was a little bit off myself.
Pick up a 5, brings up
It's got
4th and 2.
about 2 yards, 1.5 yards. What do you do here for the Lions? 4th and 2. A stop from Bloomington would work wonders for their team. They go with Pollard, and Pollard just gets enough for the first down and falls down.
On the carry, gets the first down.
Nice job there by the Lions to keep the sticks moving and keep the drive going.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to do.
Ball is spotted
Yeah,
at
just
about the
enough there to
31
get
for
a new
gain
set of
5.
downs. Pollard just charging through.
This time it is a give. Pollard, and Pollard will
On the carry.
get a few. Peoria High does like to run that option offense where it is up to Green really if he wants to hand off the ball, and he has made, I would honestly say, about an 80% success rate on his plays. There's been a few of his plays that Bloomington has figured out and has stopped immediately, but a lot of his option calls have been pretty good. 2nd and 7. Bloomington looking for that big stop, maybe even a turnover. There's Green, gets the edge on the outside. Green looking to score. There's a flag down, and Green is forced out of bounds around the 6.
About the 5, steps out of bounds, penalty flag thrown during
But
the
a
first
penalty
play.
flag was thrown. And it could be coming back. No one is moving. Might be a hold on Peoria High, if I had to guess.
Offense, number 6. It'll be a 10-yard penalty.
It indeed was a holding on Peoria High.
Second down.
Tough blow there from the Lions. You get that bigger play, and it gets called back. Another flag for Peoria. That's their 5th flag of the ball game. And when you compare it to Bloomington's 0 flags, they got a big donut in the penalty column for the Purple Raiders. It's a win for Bloomington so far. Green looking deep, and that pass is just overthrown. Nice coverage there by Bloomington. Jalen Rayford was the one that tried to catch that football for the Lions. And it is 3rd and 8. Fans are trying to get the whole stadium riled up for this one. Bloomington looking for a stop. Peoria High looking for a first. Or possibly 6. It's Green. Hands it off to Pollard, and Pollard gets a few. He only really gets up to the 26-yard line, which sets up a 4th and medium. So this 4th down, because it's not so close, is now a pretty big 4th down opportunity for Bloomington to get the stop. It is 4th and 6. What do the Lions have drawn up here? Green looking. He completes it. Nice pitch and catch there by Rayford. He breaks through a few tackles. He's still going, and he finally gets tossed down. He was brought down by Isaiah Martin for Bloomington. Nice play there from Peoria High. They get the first down in a very tough moment to be in, 4th and 6.
Yeah, just terrific maneuvering all around there by Jalen Rayford, just kind of weaving in through and picking up huge distance.
1st and goal. Green keeps it himself, and he's, I believe, in. And he is. The near side official calls him in, and is a touchdown for Peoria High. Green has accounted for all 3 touchdowns so far for the Lions.
Yeah, taking a look at it here again. We've seen Breon Green do this already in this one, just kind of taking the ball and just charging through the Bloomington defense.
Another option play that works well for Breon Green. 2-point conversion attempt here for the Lions. A fake snap. Oh, he botches the handle on the ball, and there is no conversion on the 2-point conversion attempt. But that is part, in my opinion, of what makes Breon Green more of a quarterback than an athlete, like Coach Aaron Montgomery of Peoria High had told me on a phone call before this game. The athlete part of him would have been like, okay, I'm just going to keep taking this and running it, and I'm just going to do what athletes do and just use my abilities. The quarterback side of him would be, okay, I can do that, but I also can be very smart about it and use my IQ, my football IQ, to my advantage. And he's certainly been doing a really good job with his options.
Marijuana and vaping. For more tips,
20-7 in favor of Peoria, as the Lions get a 2-score lead over Bloomington. And you got a feeling that Bloomington's got to score here on this drive, or at least hold Peoria on their next drive to 0. Diego Arena on the kickoff for the Lions. An onside kick that takes a favorable bounce, but it goes untouched and out of bounds, which draws the flag. And Bloomington, I believe, will just be set with taking the ball with field position rather than having them re-kick.
On the kicking team, I rule the ball be spotted 5 yards up the field from the ball went out of bounds. First down, Bloomington.
And they will do that. Purple Raiders got a score here. It's not make or break, obviously. You still have other drives to go after this one, but the fact that you're down 2 scores against a team like Peoria High, it kind of adds a little bit of pressure on this drive to make something work. Chestnut gets the pitch from Hamilton. He'll get the edge, and he'll get about, again, a 5. Forced out of bounds by the Lions.
Tackle made by number 10, Jeremiah Rayford for the Lions. Pickup is 4.
Chestnut on the day has pretty much been reliable. You know, nothing that is spectacular about what he's done so far, but nothing that really needs to be so spectacular. But he's got 34 carries, or 34 yards on 10 carries, pardon me, with a touchdown. He's got the only touchdown so far for Bloomington. Looking at a second. Here's Hamilton. Evading pressure. Oh, what a move he's been putting on Peoria defenders all night long.
Hamilton on the carry.
And I believe
to the Peoria 49 as he steps out of bounds.
He got a few on that. Showing the athleticism is Hamilton. That was an athletic move there to evade Peoria pressure.
Yeah, a little bit of kind of spinning and sliding around there, and again picks up enough. Keep things moving.
3rd down and medium for Bloomington. Hamilton looking. Gets ahead of the pocket, and he will get nowhere. Oh, it's a fumble. It's recovered by Jaquarius Green. The big man will look to bring it all the way. And he's just short. But Jaquarius Green recovers the fumble of Keontae Hamilton from Bloomington and sets up Peoria in very favorable field position inside the 5.
Stopped at about the sack behind the line of scrimmage. Fumble was forced and recovered by
what a big play by this Peoria defense. Looking to get another touchdown and possibly put this game out of reach. This is exactly what Bloomington did not want to happen.
A costly mistake there, and credit Peoria for taking advantage of it. Aquarius Green so close to running it all the way into the end zone, but now a golden opportunity for Peoria High to tack on to their lead.
And they might do so here, as they will. That's powered for a touchdown. Touchdown Peoria High.
For the Lion touchdown.
And the Lions have blown this game wide open. 26-7.
And Peoria High doing what they have done all season long, which is just kind of take advantage of opportunities. And again, just into that end zone many, many times.
And there's a 2-point conversion attempt, and he's in. Nice run there by Breon Green. And it's another nice touchdown run there by Tryon Pollard. He's got all the touchdowns so far for Peoria High. He's been definitely doing his part getting into the end zone. And then the Lions finally get a 2-point conversion to work. Or excuse me, no, they have 2 2-point conversions to work. Their second touchdown, they had gone to 2-point conversions, so they are leading 28-7. And this is exactly what Bloomington did not want to happen to them. They're putting themselves in quite a bit of a hole. Not saying it's impossible to come back, because we definitely have seen weirder things happen. It's not insurmountable to come back from this, but given the context, given the team that you're playing, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, uphill battle. But crazier things have happened.
Diego Arena with the onside kick, and Bloomington has not had much trouble with onside kicks. Carter Tyndall with the onside kick recovery. And, I mean, the plus with the onside kicks, if you're able to recover them, it will set you up in good field position. So that's what Bloomington's really had all night long. They just haven't been able to really punch it in other than just one time. Purple Raiders looking to get something happening offensively before it's too late. Here's Hamilton. Hands it off to Chestnut, and Chestnut is held back. No one's escaping the grasp of Peoria High's Zahn McCaston.
Loss of a yard on the play. Tackle made by McCaston.
And there's a good look at the man who recovered the fumble and nearly turned in for a touchdown, Jacorius Green. He is every bit that what you might assume he is. 6'3", 375. That was pretty much in reverse roles. You had the big man returning the fumble, running it in, and then you had the skill players blocking for him. I'm sure he's not used to having his skill players block for him. There's a nice pass completed by Hamilton. That pass was completed to Childers.
Tackle made by 15, Titus Wyatt. Ball will be spotted at the Peoria 43-yard
Bloomington looking to try to get a score. I mean, like we had mentioned, it's not insurmountable to come back from this deficit. It really isn't. We have seen weirder things happen before. But giving your context, it's pretty important here to get a score on this drive. Hamilton will look to get that started as a pass goes to Jalen Norton, and it's incomplete, but there is a flag. And you got to assume that's probably pass interference.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And nearly still a catch even with what looked to be interference.
It's interference. Defense, number 2. It's a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. The result of that penalty is a first down.
Fans were clamouring for a flag, and they finally get it. And it does go against the Lions' pass interference on Demarion Zapata. And it will be a first down for Bloomington plus the 15 yards on the penalty. Big possession here for Bloomington. Hamilton looks for Chestnut, and Chestnut looked to get a few off of a lateral pass.
Tripped up by number 3, Tavian Alexander for the Lions. No gain, second
There's
down.
not been much in terms of the air for both teams. A lot of the air game has been based on lateral passes that don't really go for much yards in the air, but sometimes have broken off into some bigger plays off of yards after catch. There's Hamilton looking. A modified screen is incomplete. It was batted up by Tyndall and nearly was picked off. Could have been picked off.
Yeah, look at it there. Throw just a little high.
Yeah, it was a hard catch to make for Tyndall, and the fact that he had to jump off for it means that he did not have any center of gravity really to him. So being hit while jumping up in the air to catch that ball is never going to be easy for him, as it sets up Bloomington with a long third down and 10, and a pretty much for sure passing situation. As Hamilton looks, and there's a flag. Once again, Carter Tyndall was held from catching the football, and there will be a pass interference once again on Peoria High.
We have pass interference. Defense, number 16. It's a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. The result of that penalty is a first down.
Titus Wyatt was the culprit for the Lions that time on pass interference, and what a bailout for Bloomington. On a 3rd and 10, they get a pass interference called for them, and they get a new fresh set of downs plus the yardage. as they look to score with 5:02 left to go here in the third quarter. Peoria High has gotten the scoring started in the third quarter with 2 straight touchdowns, both within a minute. Here's Hamilton looking for the end zone, and it's incomplete. That one isn't going to draw a flag. Good coverage there from Darion Mays. But there will be a roughing the passer penalty.
Half the distance to the goal. It's also a first down.
Julian Lowe was called for roughing the passer. I did not look for that. I was looking more so for the pass. I don't know what you saw, Michael, but I did not find that. But roughing the passer penalty regardless. And Peoria is having trouble so far with the flag as we get a replay. Oh, yeah, you got a shot in the neck area. That's definitely going to be called. That's a pretty dangerous hit to have on a quarterback.
Yeah, it is. Don't want to see that too much, and flags have been flying for Peoria, so timeout called now by Coach Montgomery. Probably trying to kind of slow things down and kind of regroup, get that game plan back intact. Have a large lead, but you don't want it to slip away on penalties.
Bloomington has been held flagless, so if you were to have a win for Bloomington, it would be the fact that they've been playing clean football the entire game. Peoria, on the other hand, on this drive alone has had 3 flags. I believe they're up to 8 flags on the ball game, so the flag stats have not been favoring Peoria, but it's not that it's been hitting, it's not been like it's been hurting them all that much. They're still up by 21, but it is something to make note of just in case it does come down to, like, you know, who ends up winning this football game. Hamilton takes it himself, going to his left, look to get the edge. He will get the edge. It's a touchdown for Bloomington. Keontae Hamilton for 6. And the Purple Raiders inch a little closer.
Yeah, nice job there by Bloomington, needing to strike back, and they do so.
Dedekian on to try the extra point.
Dedekian for the extra point for Bloomington. And number 10 has been perfect so far on extra points. And Bloomington trails 28-14. Here's another look at that play. Nice blocking there by the Purple Raiders. Nice block there by Chestnut in order for Hamilton to get the edge and score for 6. And it is 28-14 in favor of Peoria High. This game has gotten a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, it has big touchdown there for Bloomington, courtesy of Hamilton, taking it himself on into the end zone. Purple Raiders needing to get back into it after Peoria took a 28-7 lead.
And 21 seconds.
Bloomington still with some ground to make up, but you got to feel good that you're inching a little bit closer there.
They just got to feel good that they got in the end zone because they've had trouble trying to get plays to go into the end zone. Their first touchdown came off of a 2-yard rush, so it's not like they've gotten that decent little chunk play for 6. They've had to really work for it, so the fact that they've gotten a pretty nice play for a touchdown on that drive by Keontae Hamilton means that their offense can breathe a little bit.
Melvin Jenkins for Peoria High.
Dedekian for the kickoff. He tries an onside kick himself. It does take a Bloomington bounce. Now, did it get past 10 yards? That is very close. And it looks like
Kickoff covered by the Raiders at their own 49. Did not go the requisite 10 yards. To
it was so close, and yet it was just short. It had to have been at least a half a yard short of the 10-yard mark. That was a tough break. That was the perfect onside kick would be that the receiving team recovers it at that 10-yard line, or just at least recovers it, but that was so close.
Yeah, tough break there.
Carter Tyndall recovered it, but he recovered it on the 49.5-yard line. That was so close to the 50. But it's Peoria High with possession. Handoff to Pollard. He tries to elude Bloomington defenders, and he still gets a decent chunk. Nice run there by Pollard.
Tackle made by Zion Pargo for the Raiders.
Pollard's up to 70 yards on 19 carries. 2nd and 5 for Peoria. With 4:24 left to go in the ball game, or excuse me, in the third quarter. Here's Breon Green, and he will get enough for a first down, maybe. It looks like it's closer than maybe I appeared, but no, it's going to be a first down. Nice run there by Breon Green.
Lions gets the first down. Tackle shared by Sutton and Martin. Ball will be spotted at the Bloomington 39 after a gain of 5.
So nice little stretch of plays here by Peoria High to get first downs and continuously driving. Green hands it off to Pollard, and Pollard tries to elude another swarm of Bloomington tacklers, and finally Bloomington gets to him. That was a nice play there by Bloomington's Dave Williams, the senior.
Loss on the play of a yard brings up 2nd down.
Peoria actually lost a yard on that play. 2nd and 11 on the 40. A mishandled snap covered by Breon Green, and he's just going to be sacked, and he's going to lose a couple. That was a nice play there by Jalen Robb, but it was a low snap that caused that to happen. When you have low snaps like that, it's not really going to work out that well for the offense.
2 yards.
You got 3rd and 13 for the Lions. Not before a flag.
It'll be 3rd.
It's a penalty on the Lions. Raiders will decline it, so it will be 3rd and 13. Big chance for Bloomington to make something happen on defense. 3rd and 13. Green looking deep. And oh, it's just incomplete. That pass was for Darion Mays, and it is 4th and 13. Even bigger of a situation for Bloomington to make something happen. They have to at least hold Peoria High from going to the 29-yard line for a first down.
Yeah, so close there. It was an excellent throw, but kind of a 2-on-1 there. Made that one tough to grab.
And this would be big for Bloomington. They've had moments in this game where momentum has gone their way, but it's been shot back into Peoria High's hands. This would be a big one for them to get a stop here on 4th and 13. The crowd's into it. Breon Green looking to pass. Here's in the middle of the field, and it's caught. Nice play by Kyron Woodard. And that'll be a Lion first down. Nice play there by Green to Woodard.
Woodard is complete for the first down. Tyndall makes the stop.
Yeah, terrific pass, terrific grab.
25-yard line.
For the Lions, that's how you redeem an incomplete pass there. You complete the very next one.
Woodard with a nice grab over the middle. Nice ball there by Breon Green in order to make Woodard able to embrace the hit that might be coming to him in the middle of the field. It's a nicely placed ball by the senior quarterback. And from 4th and 13 to a new set of downs. Peoria High on a 1st and 10. Green, the lateral pass out to Darion Mays, and Mays gets a few.
Pass completion from Green to Mays.
So the Lions looking like they were dead in their own rights on this possession and get a new set of downs, and they're looking to punch in even more points Here is Pollard, and Pollard is stood up. And he might have a gain of a few,
Pollard on the carry,
maybe
over the
nothing.
20, to about the 18, pick up about 3.
3-yard gain for Pollard. So 3rd and 3 for Peoria, with just 90 seconds left to go here in the 3rd quarter. And Green keeps it himself. Once again, the option play works out for him as he gets a few yards, and he sets up the Lions into 1st and goal.
Breon Green on the carry, gets the first down. Tyndall.
So nice play there by the senior quarterback. We've seen this time and time again tonight where he has the option play and he makes the right call.
Yeah, he does, and that's why he's so successful. Why Peoria wins so many games by so many points. Just great IQ, able to execute the game plan.
Bloomington 11.
And the Lions, excuse me, not 1st and goal. It's 1st and pretty much on the doorstep of goal. It's 1st and 10 on the 11. As Green surveys the field, looks for the end zone, and it's just out of the reach of his man. That was Jalen Rayford, but there will be a penalty flag. As Jalen Rayford looks for a security officer to give him the football from the out of bounds.
We have an eligible downfield, number 50 from the 5.
That was Peoria High's Rashad Diaz as an eligible man downfield, pardon me. And that will set the Lions back once again. The penalties just keep separating themselves. Bloomington with a 0, a donut in the penalty area. Peoria, I believe, if they're not at 10, they're at 9. So 9 penalties is 0 penalties. As Green takes it himself and picks up around pretty much where they left off before the penalty. So you got the yardage back off the penalty, and it'll be 2nd and 10. So practically that first pass on the first play was an incomplete pass.
Yeah, essentially what it boiled down to.
2nd and 10 with 45 seconds left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Lions looking to get a big win in the Big 12. Up 2 scores, can make a 3 here in one play. And that is, looks like Pollard. And Pollard was stood up, excuse me, no, that was Melvin Jenkins that was stood up by that Bloomington defensive line.
Taken down by 77, Dave Williams.
And we are ticking down to the end of the 3rd quarter. I believe Peoria is going to let the clock run out. And I think they will. So our 3rd quarter ends here. Score 28-14, Peoria High, using 2 third quarter touchdowns, pardon me, to keep on extending their lead over conference foe Bloomington. What are your thoughts on what you've seen so far in the 3 quarters of action and in the 3rd quarter?
Yeah, Michael, it has been a great one thus far to watch. Some great defensive plays, some great offense in there as well. We've seen the ball in the end zone quite a bit as well among both sides out there. The penalties on Peoria's side really ramped up in this 3rd quarter, so it'll be something to look at in the 4th if they can make those adjustments, kind of get away from committing those. Again, Bloomington without a penalty in the whole game. But for Peoria, still applying pressure and getting that ball in the end zone. Bloomington's defense has stayed very competitive in there as well. A couple openings have gotten through, but Bloomington's really going to want to get on a nice stretch in this final quarter to make that final push to tie this one or take the lead.
I guarantee you, if you went to go talk to Coach Aaron Montgomery from Peoria's side, if you told him that what you think the score would be if let's go with all the penalties that they've had, he would say that they're about to be up by a lot more. Drive killers, but in that same respect, they have not really had that hurt them as much. They're still up by 2 scores over a solid Bloomington side. That Bloomington has not had any penalties hinder their drives. They've just been unable to really punch in touchdowns when they can get them. They've been driving down the field, Bloomington has, on their offensive side. They just haven't been able to score touchdowns. Start of the 4th quarter. We got 12 minutes left to go to decide this one. A big matchup in the Big 12. Oh, a pitch play out. Nice triple option look there. And looks like it was Tryon Pollard. And he will get maybe 2? Yeah, I'd say 2. He's be 4th and 11.
3 brings up 4th down.
4th and 10.
IHSA students, please remember you need to be out of the stadium no more than 15 minutes after the game is over. So if you need a ride home, you might want to call or text somebody.
This is a big game. This is a big possession. This is a big play here for Bloomington's defense. 4th and 10. Stop here. Would he give them the ball back? Here's Green looking deep. And just out of the outstretched hands of his wide receiver, Demarion Zapata. And the Raiders will take over on downs. And a Peoria turnover on downs will give the Raiders a chance to make this more of a game. This is only a 2-score game. It's kind of hard to believe. You would think that the way that Peoria's been playing, that they would be up by more, but it's just a 2-score game, and a score here would go a long way in deciding how this game could possibly end.
Yeah, big shot here for Bloomington. Getting the ball back on downs. Yeah, you're right, Michael. I mean, a score here completely changes how Peoria is approaching this one. No more just scoring to pad the lead. Now it'd be
Hamilton looking, and the pass is caught. It was batted up in the air for a second by Zapata, and then Jalen Norton able to make the catch off the deflection. And finally, we get a chunk play from this Bloomington team, and it gets them around the 40-yard line.
Yeah, big play. That's what Bloomington is looking for right there. Huge play. Set yourself up here for a nice drive.
More plays like that, please. Niall McKay's probably saying right now. It's early in this 4th quarter. A swing pass out there, pretty much a screen pass. It might be a fumble. There's no whistle yet. It probably is a fumble. Recovered by Peoria High, and it's near the goal line. That was Tavion Alexander with the fumble recovery, and I think he's down at the 3-yard line. What a big swing at things from Peoria. And there's no second guessing, no second looks. That is a fumble. He did complete the process of a catch, and the fumble was recovered by the Lions, and they were being set up really nicely right now. And we really just mentioned that as a big play from Bloomington to possibly try to get a 3rd score in there to make things very interesting. Peoria has since turned that on its head, and now they are looking to make this a 3-score ball game. We're on the doorstep of doing so. Both teams have turned over the ball quite a bit. Bloomington's at 4 turnovers. Peoria High's at 3. That latest turnover being the 4th for the Raiders. And that latest turnover might be the killer. As Pollard takes it, and is he in? He is just short. Nice effort there by Pollard, but he is just short. Nice play there by Bloomington's defense. On the goal line, 2nd and goal at the 1. Will be nice to take a page out of the Philadelphia Eagles book and do a tush push if maybe. They're just going to run it off the gut. And he's in. Touchdown Peoria. Nice run there by Tryon Pollard for 6. And Peoria has extended its lead 34-14. And Pollard's got 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, heck of a job there by Peoria. And again, taking advantage of opportunities and scoring on them. Bloomington's fumble leads to a Peoria touchdown.
Pardon me, I said Pollard's got 4 touchdowns. He's got 2 touchdowns. Breon Green's got 3 as there's a 2-point conversion. And I believe he got there, and the nearest official to the play signals no, so the score does hold at 34-14 in favor of Peoria. Nothing really too spectacular about this run. It's a 1-yard rushing touchdown. You just hand it up the middle of the Pollard and let him do the rest.
And as Peoria extends the lead, it's held by,
Once again, BHS
they are out there on the field. They're feeling good.
No more than 15 minutes after the
Peoria looks to get that big 6th win.
If you need a ride home,
This game wasn't this far separated in terms of score. This game was a good game at halftime. It was only a 1-score ball game. It was Peoria up on Bloomington 14-7, but Peoria has since turned it on in the 3rd quarter. They had scored on their opening drive to start the 2nd half. That was a touchdown by Peoria's Demarion Zapata. And then they had scored just as an onside kickers recovered by Bloomington. That was Childers with the recovery. And then less than a minute later, a fumble recovery happens by big man Jacario Green that sets the Lions up inside their own 5, or inside Bloomington's 5, pardon me. And then Peoria scores again. And all of a sudden, a 1-score deficit at halftime for Bloomington has spiraled to a 3-score deficit in the middle of the 3rd quarter. Bloomington did punch back. It was 28-14 thanks to a touchdown run by Keontae Hamilton. And then, as we just saw there, Pollard of Peoria High with a 1-yard touchdown run. To separate things more, as there's a lateral pass there to Jaden Norton, and Norton will pick up 1 or 2.
No gain, 2nd down.
Both teams like to get chunk plays when they're needed, but a lot of their offense comes off with swing passes and running attacks. Kind of works out when you have 2 athletic quarterbacks. Hamilton looking, throwing, and it's just short of his intended man. That was Carter Tyndall, who was his intended receiver. And they'll set up a 3rd and 10 for Bloomington. Looking to score here, you got to think that if they don't score here, this game could very well be over.
Yeah, it's definitely now getting into the final minutes of this game here. Definitely need to score, and sense of urgency likely felt out there now.
If there was pressure earlier in the game, nothing compares to now as Hamilton rolls out and he throws an interception. Speaking of pressure, the pressure might have gone to him for a pick. That is Arion Mays. That might take it all the way. And he will coast in for 6. Peoria High with another interception. And it's another touchdown for the Lions. They have certainly, if not before, blown this game wide open. It is 40-14.
And all systems a go right now for the Lions. And again, they are getting opportunities and not letting them go to waste as they continue to build this one here, open it wide up.
Potent Peoria High defense strikes again as the Lions will look to go for 2 to make it a 5-score ball game. Green looking, and he finds his man. That's a nice catch there by Jalen Rayford. And Peoria High, this game was close at some point in halftime. It was only a 1-score game, but they have since blown the doors open here. It's a nice look at the interception again. Aaron Montgomery, Coach Aaron Montgomery for Peoria High. You might look at, say you look at their MaxPrex page and you might think, okay, they let up at least, well, give or take, I didn't do the actual math on this one, but at least 25 points a game. But he'll tell you that a lot of their points they've given up on defense has been given up on the reserves when they're up by so much against the team. And it's not so indicative of how their first stringers play. Obviously, you know that their first stringers do give up points. They give up 14 to Bloomington, so they do give up points. But a lot of the points that Peoria has given up on defense has come when their reserves are in the ball game. So it's total credit to how their starters play both on offense and defense. They get their reserves a chance, but it's also a credit to how good their starters are when they're in the game. 9:10 left to go here in regulation. Peoria up big, 42-14 over Bloomington, and it's never really been much of an issue tonight for Bloomington as Childers once again recovers an onside kick. And Bloomington will look to get more out of this game now that they're assuming probably now that the game's far out of reach for them. You never really know. Anything could happen, but you know, when you have players like Darion Mays on the other side with 2 interceptions tonight, it's going to be tough on your offense to really find anything going. This Peoria defense has been tough. Here come the Purple Raiders. Hamilton looking deep. He's got a man, and it's caught. Nice play there by Jordan Norton. Nice play there by Norton. He'll pick up a nice chunk play for the Raiders.
At the Peoria 20-yard line for a 28-yard gain.
And nice air pass, nice grab. Bloomington needing to score, try and keep this one close. And narrow up what is now a big lead.
Hamilton once again looking deep. This time it's Tyndall, and Tyndall will look to make the catch, but he did not make the catch. And in fact, there is a flag. Not really sure who or what this is on. Looking like they're getting more of an explanation about the play. Could be pass interference. I mean, I wouldn't say why that wouldn't be an option. Not saying that I would agree with that call if it were to happen or I understand it, but given the nature of the physicality.
We are holding defense number 15. Could be a 10-yard penalty for the previous penalty. Is going to be a first.
So Peoria High now in the double digits in terms of penalties, while Bloomington is still flagless. And that flag was called on the cornerback of the Lions that contested that ball. That was Titus Wyatt. And first play back from the flag, and Hamilton's pass has fallen incomplete. That pass was intended for Sutton. And it will be 1st and 10. 1st and goal on the 10-yard line. Or 2nd and goal, pardon me, on the 10-yard line. 8:42 left to go here in regulation. Bloomington is looking to get in the end zone. Hamilton scrambling out to his left under duress. Looks to throw. No, he looks to run, and he gets walloped by a couple of Peoria High Lions. And he loses about 5. It'll be 3rd and 16.
And credit the Peoria High defense, continuing to stay sharp. Sacking a really talented quarterback.
Third and 15 for Bloomington. Hamilton looks, and he just overshoots his man. Once again, Sutton was the intended receiver, but the pass does fall incomplete. It's 4th and 15. And I wouldn't blame Coach Niall McKay if he left his Raiders out there to try to at least get something in the end zone.
It is 4th and goal. 4th and goal.
4th and goal on the 15th, or on the 15-yard line. Bloomington looking to get something in the end zone. Looking to cap this drive off with 6. Hamilton's looking, and the pass is just incomplete. Childers going to make the play, and it was a nice play by Tatavian Alexander. Nice play there by the cornerback for the Lions, and it'll be a turnover on downs back to the Peoria High Lions. As the Lions look to get back onto the field, and you know how they go. They're going to try to add some more points.
Yeah, Peoria High not going to take the foot off the gas pedal, no doubt about it.
Notable score in the Big 12 to take note of. Normal Community up 43-6 over Champaign Centennial. That is a 6-1 Normal Community team facing a 5-2 Champaign Centennial team, as Breon Green has a rushing attempt for the Lions. Picks up a couple. That is a big game for the Big 12. And Normal West is at Champaign Central. They're up in the 4th quarter, 34-7 over the Maroons. That is Normal West Wildcats over the Champaign Central Maroons. It's another carry. This time it's Pollard.
Pollard on the carry for the Lions. Stop made by the Raiders, number 55, Luke O'Daniel.
Peoria Notre Dame is at St. Bede. It's a Christian school versus, actually, I think it's a Catholic versus Catholic school. So, yeah, Peoria's Catholic school versus LaSalle Peru, their Catholic school. So that's an interesting matchup. Of course, St. Bede plays in the Chicagoland Prairie Conference. That conference only has 4 teams, so you're not playing very many conference games. You got to find your non-conference opponents where you can get them. As Breon Green gets tackled for a loss, that was a nice play by Jamari Sutton. There's some big Mid-Illini games as well. Take a look at those. The last score has been updated in Dunlap. It has been 8-0 Morton over Dunlap. So that's a big Mid-Illini game. That's 5-2 Morton versus 6-1 Dunlap. As Breon Green scrambles to his right, looks for a man, floats it up. Oh, what a catch! The catch was made by Amari Robinson. Oh, and there's a flag, a late flag.
Amari Robinson complete. Up to about the 35.
And it might be around the sideline warning area. That was a nice improvision by Breon Green. Did not get what he wants initially, but able to roll it to his right and able to direct traffic to get a completion. And what a catch also on the other end by Amari Robinson.
And officials now going over what transpired there on the play.
We have a sideline on Peoria. The first one is a warning.
So Peoria does get called with the sideline warning. That happens usually when you give the context of where the flag is thrown and the timeliness of the flag. Usually a late flag by the sideline does constitute a sideline warning, as Aaron Montgomery's getting an explanation about it. Washington is up Cannon is down at Washington 48-9. And our CI Proud Game of the Week features
second warning, which results in a 5-yard penalty.
So it was their second sideline warning of the ball game, which like the official had said, does constitute a 5-yard penalty. Our CI Proud game of the week was Metamora at East Peoria. The Raiders are down at home 20-49 over Metamora. The Raiders have been 4-0 for the past 2 years, this year and last year, and they have not been able to get that 5th win, that signature one that put them in the playoff field. And if it does not come against Metamora this week, they'll have a chance to do it against Pekin on the finale of the regular season as Breon Green. Nice run there by the senior quarterback. 5:40 left to go here in regulation. It's been all Peoria High in the second half. It wasn't all Peoria High to start off with. It was a close one in the first half, but Peoria has since turned on the Jets here in the second half and has used their defense to generate some offense. Handoff, but it's been stuffed. A host of Raiders able to get powered on the stop. And nice stop there by Peoria, or excuse me, nice stop there by Bloomington.
After a gain of 1.
Pekin is up 28-0 over Limestone. That's in the third quarter. Pekin needs 2 more wins this week and next week against East Peoria to punch its ticket into the playoffs. They're at 3-4. They need 5 to at least qualify for the postseason. What a game that'll be next week. East Peoria and Pekin, 2 4-4 teams most likely, are going to be playing for a spot in the playoffs. That's why these games matter so much at the later parts of the season. I believe we got a timeout. We do. Peoria, I believe, called the timeout. But yeah, I mean, you could probably attest to this more. I mean, every sport's kind of like this. The later the season goes, for example, football week 9, these games get more and more meaningful.
Yeah, they do for sure. I mean, no doubt about it. Every play right now is magnified, and you definitely feel like you want to get these last couple of wins that are going your way here. And big moment again. One win can really change not just your playoff picture, but also your matchups as well, which of course is very important for teams wanting to get matchups most favorable to them.
Peoria and Bloomington might see themselves in the playoffs. Both are at least qualified for the postseason, both in Class 5A, so they could see themselves in the playoffs, mattering on how the seeding does work out for them. As Green looks to pass, got a man, and it's just incomplete. That was Demarion Zapata, the intended receiver.
Green's pass for Zapata is
Yeah, and
incomplete.
we talked about
Brings up 4th down.
East Peoria and Pekin. If that game was played in week 1, that's not really that important as compared to a week 9 game when both teams are 4-4, looking for that one win to get into the playoffs. That week 1 game they could have against each other with both teams being at 0-0 in terms of their record, it's not as important as, say, week 9 when your season's on the line. .424 left to go here in regulation. 4th and 9 for Peoria. And Green looks to pass, and it's just out of
for number 8, DeAndre Johnson.
DeAndre Johnson's reach.
Raiders will take over.
And the Purple Raiders will take over. And it's a sizable comeback for them to make. Not impossible, but sizable. Could happen. Just has a lot of it has to go their way.
Yeah, not over till that clock hits 0. But it's certainly going to take quite the run at this point of the ball game. But again, never count your opponent out until the game is official.
Play until the clock's at 0 and the final whistle happens. Hamilton's
pass for Sutton
had an
is
open man.
incomplete.
Sun was open, but it was just a little behind him. He wasn't able to come back and make the catch.
And on pressure along with McCaston.
And for Bloomington, at this point, I mean, We say it's sizable. I mean, in a way that means that we believe it could be possible, but it's not like it could happen. I mean, that's like us. That's like me winning the lottery. It's not going to happen, but it's definitely possible. But you got to take some moral wins out of this one and look forward into your Week 9 matchup with Centennial.
Hamilton's
It's a
pass
nice
is-
pass there.
Tyndall's complete.
Passing catch there from Tyndall.
Tackle made
And
by
that'll be a first down for
14,
Bloomington.
Q1, Jordan and Titus Wyatt for 15. Raider first down. Gain of 16 yards on the play.
Bloomington looking for more offense. They've gotten some catches on this drive.
Hamilton's pass for Sutton is in.
That one was a nice pass by Hamilton to Sun. That one could have been caught by Sun, but was just a little too hot, I believe, for Sun. As we look for Bloomington's schedule, as we look forward into the final week of the regular season, those first 5 wins, they're 5-0. They were ranked in the AP poll at number 8. They have since lost their last 2, and they're looking to drop their this one tonight. They have a 3-game losing streak, but they have a big matchup at Centennial on Friday, next Friday. Let's look ahead for Bloomington as they look to build on the positives from this game, as there's a sack there from Peoria. And Bloomington is looking to go forward as different from Peoria, though. Peoria is looking to build on its way to the playoffs. They have a big matchup. It's not going to be for the Big 12 title, but it will be a big matchup nonetheless, as it always is with Normal Community and the Lions. That game is always meaningful. Class 7A power Normal Community and Class 5A power Peoria. Pass is incomplete from Hamilton. So 2 teams right now. I mean, we if you took the first half only and condensed down to the entire game, this game is close. But obviously, there's 2 halves played in football, and the second half has just been Peoria High's way, and it's really set Bloomington back, and it's really allowed the Raiders to not necessarily go for the win in this game, but to go for moral victories.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Peoria could do just about no wrong here in the second half, taking advantage of a fumble and interception. Bloomington now want to get in that end zone, at least feel good about your last little stretch here, even though the score right now is not Bloomington's favor.
Holding
And one last
on
score.
the defense. It'll be a 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, 3rd down.
Aaron Montgomery, the head coach for Peoria High, is not the happiest camper in the world right now. Surely his team's up by 3 scores, but just so many penalties. It's almost hard to believe how many penalties they've had called on them versus what Bloomington has. Bloomington has been flagless the entire game. There's a pass there, a little underthrown, but Tyndall was not able to come back and catch the football. A moral victory for Bloomington is that they've been flagless. They've been clean the entire game. And that's something that Niall Mulcahy, head coach for Bloomington, can take not only into Week 9 next Friday, the finale of the regular season, but he can also take into the playoffs, knowing that his team can pull off something like that. I mean, clean games like this can matter when November hits. Hamilton looking, and a dangerous pass. Darion Mays nearly got his 3rd interception of the ball game. A nice pass breakup by the senior. And that will turn the ball over on downs to the Lions. The 3:05 left to go here in the 4th quarter. It's been all Peoria High so far. 3 unanswered touchdowns from the Lions that bring the score to 42-14. And it allows Peoria High to feel comfortable on their way to a big Big 12 victory over Bloomington. Spoils Bloomington's senior night. As the Lions look to set up. Green to Pollard, and Pollard just gets a few.
Pollard carries for the Lions. O'Daniel
Both teams are at least qualified for the postseason. There's nothing to really play for in terms of getting inside the playoffs, but getting that 6th win, like we have mentioned before, is the solidifier in terms of you for sure being in the postseason. But there's very rarely a 5-4 team that doesn't make the postseason. So both teams will most likely be in the postseason. Both projected to be in the postseason, regardless of where they finish.
Green carries for the Lions to the 33, a penalty flag.
So Green carries a first down and then some, but a flag flies. As we look to the official at the white hat.
Holding. Offense. Number 12. 10-yard penalty. Replay. 2nd down.
Braylon Willis with the hold for Peoria High, and the flags just keep mounting for the Lions. Given the score, I mean, it's not much of an issue in terms of how the game could transpire, but in terms of the Peoria High team, this can definitely linger a little bit if you're not careful in your practices coming up to, or your practices in the future. Something that could linger going forward. Handoff to Pollard, and Pollard breaks free and picks up the first down. It's 2:12 left to go here in regulation. Peoria High looking like it's going to be a victorious football team here tonight at Bloomington. Going to be escaping one of the Twin Cities with a W, and a big one at that. We're just under 2 minutes left to go here in regulation. Green in the pocket. Hands off to Pollard, and Pollard weaves his way. Gets a few yards on that carry.
O'Daniel gets in on the stop.
You got to give a big shout out to these Bloomington fans. It looks like from where we're situated on the roof of their press box, it looks like a lot of them have stayed. And you got to always appreciate that in scores like this. Every school has scores like these. Even the best ones do, but, shout out to these fans for staying and watching. I mean, they could definitely be doing better things than sitting out here in the cold, but they've decided to stick with it. So hand off to Pollard, and Pollard gets the first down. Nice run there by the senior.
Gets the first down.
Pollard is up to 34 carries, up to 112 yards rushing. It's a good day in the office for Detroit Pollard, as it usually is. Breon Green is a yard away from cracking the triple digits. He's at 99 yards on 18 carries. And Pollard again. And this time he does what he's been doing pretty much the entire night. He gets just a few. 4 yards on the carry. Passing, Breon Green has 141 yards off of 12 completions on 30 attempts in the air. Green's got 3 touchdowns on the ground. Maury Robinson has 20 yards for the Lions, and that will do it. Peoria High escapes Bloomington with a big 42-14 victory over the Purple Raiders, the spoiled Bloomington senior night, and get that 6th win on the season. And Bloomington falls to 5-3 after fighting hard but unable to get the job done against Peoria High.
Yeah, it was a close first half between these two teams, but the second half, Peoria High took advantage of some key opportunities and never looked back, just building and building and building on the scoring column until it just became too much for Bloomington to surmount. But a lot to like from both teams here tonight, especially on the defensive end for both sides. Peoria High's offense did the job once more.
Final score.
Complimentary football for the Lions. They used a lot of their defense into offense. Darian Mays, 2 interceptions, one of which was a pick 6 for the Lions. You also have sacks from a number of different Lions. Judah Robertson, Jacarius Green, the big man, with 1 sack. Quinn Crump, half a sack. Kendrick Owens, half a sack. Dezon McCaston had a sack. And then fumbles recovered. Jacarius Green, if we remember correctly from the first half, he had that big fumble recovery that he almost nearly took to the house but brought inside the 5-yard line. He had a fumble recovery. And then Tatavion Alexander, fumble recovery for the Lions. So he's defensive stats for Peoria High, pivotal in the outcome of this game. And then in terms of Bloomington, Keontae Hamilton did a decent job in the air. It wasn't anything that, you blow your doors off of you, but it was a job done. 175 yards off of 9 completions on 27 attempts in the air. Receiving 56 yards off of 2 catches from Jordan Norton. Carter Tyndall had 70 yards off of 3 catches. And Jamari Sutton had 22 yards in a reception. Cooper Childers had a 7-yard catch. And then rushing, Kavion Chestnut had 38 yards off of 14 carries. Keontae Hamilton had 13 yards off of 3 carries. And then Jordan Norton had 1 carry but had netted -6 yards. So thoughts on this game and how it went? Obviously, it was a close one at halftime, but obviously Peoria High had pulled away in the second half.
Yeah, I really think the big takeaway, especially in that second half, is just taking advantage of opportunities. Bloomington made a big fumble that Peoria was able to take advantage of, capitalize on for a touchdown, a huge interception that led to a touchdown there as well. So it really just came down to which team executed their game plan the best. And tonight Peoria not only executed their game plan, but took advantage of when Bloomington had a little mishap in there as well. So again, a valiant effort from both sides, and definitely some positives to take away on both sides. But Peoria tonight just came out a little bit stronger and took advantage of some key mistakes that they were able to take for touchdowns on drives. So again, opportunities are key, and especially late in the season when you want your teams to be at the best form they possibly can be. Peoria just able to take advantage and capitalize tonight.
Peoria happy campers going home west on I-74. They are driving 45 minutes happy and proud back to the 309. They defeat Bloomington by a score of 42-14, thanks to a lot of defense that has been turned into offense. But that will do it here from the Fred Carlson Field in Bloomington. For Michael Goff, I am Michael Savoy. Joshua Messenger on the director. Cindy Barnes producing it for us, and then the men on the camera, Nicholas Giuseppe, Gabriel Holoka, and then the stats guy himself that's been giving us great stats the entire night, Ryan Weber. We appreciate everyone's hard work here on this broadcast, making it very successful for us. And that, like I said, that'll do it from Bloomington, Fred Carlson Field. Peoria High big winners over Bloomington, 42-14. And until week 9, see you then.